struggled game one. The Bucks doing more switching in game two. That's really now the time for Boston to make the adjustment and see if they can beat that. They were one of the worst teams in the NBA against switching during the regular year. So that's the number one thing I'm going to be watching is to the extent that Milwaukee is switching, whether it's 1 through 4 or even some 1 through 5 groups, how Boston is going to choose to attack that, if in fact Bud is going to stay with that.
Along the lines of making this series hard to calibrate, you had Boston shooting a ridiculous a ridiculous success rate on twos outside the restricted area in game one, and then a really low percentage in game two. Milwaukee hit a ton of jumpers in game two, and so where all of those different facets stabilize and equalize, I don't have a clear grasp of that. I mean, especially because the Bucks changed around their defense. I think that was a good change. I think they'll keep that going, and I think that's part of why I think Kyrie Irving is a central figure in this game, because Kyrie Irving can get his shot against damn near anybody, and if they're going to switch, he'll have his opportunities. Some of their other players might struggle to create for themselves, and Jason Tatum will be another key figure in this, and I'm not sure Giannis will make 2 threes again, but, I mean, who knows? And, yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Also, I mean, we have we're only doing the first one, but we have 2 different 1-1 series, and I always think in a 7-game series, if it's tied 1-1, this third game is really definitive because it kind of sets the tone. And it's fun that in both of them, I don't have a clear grasp of who I think is going to win.
Yeah, to me, it's usually game 4. That's the biggest one. That's game 1 is one team comes out and establishes what they want to do. The other team might feel at a disadvantage. They adjust in game 2. Now we see whether the other team can adjust it in game 3. We saw the Raptors fail to adjust in game 3 last night, but they still have one more game here. So obviously, game 4 makes it either 3-1 or 2-2, and that's pretty key. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get a close one here. I think that's what the hope is for a lot of people. Celtics actually wearing some real uniforms, which is nice, going back to the well with the actual classic Celtics jerseys. And Jason Tatum's struggles have been a major theme of this series so far. We'll have to see whether he can get moving. David Locke had this stat that he was 95th out of 95 qualifying players. I forget the number of isolations that he used, but that's if the Bucks do go to more switching, Tatum is going to have to take advantage. But there isn't necessarily a huge weak link. Maybe that's Nikola Mirotic when they go small, and Brook Lopez obviously is going to be someone to watch too, to see where he's lining up on some of these screens, DHOs, pick and rolls. And the Bucks have not been good with him on the floor in this series. I think he was -12 in that game that they won by way more than 20.
Long delay for the jump ball. There we go.
Horford wins it, and Kyrie Irving will control for Boston. Immediately a double high screen for Irving to get Mirotic onto him. Irving attacking Mirotic. Big time help from Bledsoe. Top of the key 3 from Jaylen Brown. And that's what we saw in that game way back in October here, where penetration to the nail gets that shooter wide open, but he couldn't convert.
And that was a really aggressive pass by Middleton that ended up becoming a turnover.
Irving, very aggressive, trying to beat his counterpart, number 11, and he stepped on the sideline. So the Bucks will get their first real chance on offense here. Giannis looks to hand off to Mirotic way out on the floor. Mirotic has hit some deep ones in this series. Middleton, pick and roll. They don't get a good screen on it, though. Switch it, and now Middleton travels. It looked like Lopez tried to just roll to the rim ahead of time off of the switch, and Morris was a little late getting out there with some of that action, but the travel from Middleton negated the advantage. Tatum looking for Horford at the elbow. Good job by Bledsoe taking away the backdoor. Brown going at Mirotic. Not able to get by him. They'll swing it. Here's Tatum. Gets to an open jump shot and scores. And that's, the 2-point jumpers were a lot worse in game 2 than game 1. But that one was actually open, Danny. A lot of the ones in game 2 were
there was no
not.
one really in the vicinity. You could take it in rhythm on balance.
Oh, and there's Giannis blowing past Horford. We have not seen hardly at all Giannis get right to the rim on Al Horford like that. They did not do a great job of loading to him, even off the make that time. Mirotic taking away that back door, but then Horford, that's another wide open long two for Boston.
Yeah, and that was they both reacted to the back door, didn't want to concede it, and conceded the open jumper. Mirotic, deep three.
Horford controlling, he'll push it up. He's got Middleton on him. Middleton just lets him go by. Now Horford swings it. They're going to get an open corner three for Brown, and the Celtics offense looking much better. That time was just really terrible defense by Milwaukee. That try to strip him by Middleton and not staying in front was pretty miserable. Here's Bledsoe going right at Tatum, gets bumped off of his shot, and Boston with a chance to add to the lead. I like the attack there by Bledsoe, but now Irving's going to get another wide open shot. And every single one of these jumpers, all jumpers though, but all wide open.
Yeah.
And Boston now, they've made every single one of them except that corner three from Brown.
When also Milwaukee hasn't gotten as clean of looks either, other than the Giannis layup past Al Horford.
They switch the angle of the screen, double team on Middleton. Good pressure from Brown. This is a zero pass possession. Giannis is going to have to make something work. Goes right at Horford again and scores again. And I think another part of this too is with Giannis actually hitting the three, Horford's having to pick him up a little bit further out on the floor. Now Irving, Tatum, that's a contested one. Not a good look there at all from Tatum.
Yeah, and that was I think it was 17 on the clock. You could have waited for something better.
Bledsoe, now he'll take a wide open three and can't get that. Good shot though. Milwaukee's getting fine shots here. They just need to be a little bit more solid defensively. Horford trying to post up Giannis. Had success with this in last season's series. Giannis using the long arms to disrupt the face-up. Now Horford tries to get into the post with a hook shot, and Giannis not getting back down the way he was last year in that play.
That was impressive.
Tatum goes for the steal. Both guys forget about Middleton, though, and he just hits the open mid-ranger. Both teams really struggling with some bad gambles and lack of discipline in transition defense right now.
Yeah, force the guy to pick up his dribble, but then not stand in front of him when he's going to take the shot.
Flex screen by Irving. Now they say pop it out to Morris. Irving wants to go at Giannis one-on-one. Giannis forcing him left. Irving on the attack. Goes at Giannis. Great contest without fouling. Giannis is going to push it here. He's feeling it. Horford trying to stop him. Morris reaches in, and he's called for the foul. This will be a shooting foul in favor of Giannis, and this will be a chance to put up 6 points on the board already. And there's Giannis giving Horford a little bit of that same forearm that Horford has been getting away with on him on the other end. But that's not a foul. He didn't really have two hands in the back there. He just got real strong. And Horford went right back with his own elbow, but Giannis held up well.
And 4 minutes in, these are the first free throws of the game for either team. Giannis has gotten to the basket a couple times, but it's been more about open jump shots so far.
And Brad Stevens is going to call timeout in between these two free throws. That would normally be the Celtics' charged timeout.
I'm doing it blind, but that should be about right. So it's weird. On the clock was right on the sample that I was looking at, but for whatever reason, it was more condensed in whatever that was. So it should be fine now.
Let's see here. Catch up on some comments. Get those links live.
I'm having some TweetDeck problems, but it's not really a problem for anybody else.
All right. Finally had to find the new channel. Yeah, we'll probably keep it on here for a little bit. All right, if Gus Fring can't see the time, that's a major problem.
Who is more important to their team, Smart or Brogdon?
I'd say Brogdon.
Yeah, I think Smart is the better player, but the Celtics can defend without him. Especially, I would say, against certain opponents. Like, they didn't have too much trouble against
I would say Middleton is one of those guys that they really need Smart for. The rest of their team has really struggled against.
Yeah, and Middleton had a huge game too. But Brogdon,
Yeah.
his ability to
Redick
create a
is
little bit
another
off the
one
dribble-
actually that makes
Yes.
a huge
Oh,
difference. So
Smart is
with
fantastic on JJ.
Yeah.
So I think Brogdon, what he can bring off the dribble, is Milwaukee's really been lacking over these last couple of games, and Smart. I mean, Smart's a damn good player, but I would say Brogdon is more important to his team.
Yeah, and Brogdon adds an element really that nobody else can on Milwaukee with his drive game. I guess Bledsoe provides some of that as well, but as an off-ball player, shoots it a lot better than Bledsoe as well. I think he's gotten better on defense this year. Who do you like best out of Milwaukee's options at the 2?
So I assume that's not including Brogdon because he's not an option. I personally, as of right now, like going bigger and just playing down a little bit. Using a little bit more Mirotic. I don't. That's because I don't love Sterling Brown, Tony Snell, or Pat Connaughton. But if I had to choose between those guys, yikes. I mean, before this series, I probably would have said Brown. I've liked his game overall, but he's had some rough moments in this series.
Yeah, they're saying our mics are quiet. It always kills me when the exact same settings from last time somehow aren't as good this time.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if that helps at all. Yeah. Let me know. Say something, Danny.
I'm talking right now. What kind of contract will Malcolm Brogdon get? I think is really subject to the restricted free agent constriction, unless let's say Phoenix thinks that he's their answer at guard. I don't know who's going to give him a big offer sheet. Now, Milwaukee presumably does not want him to even though signing the qualifying offer would keep them below the tax for the upcoming year, that would be a risk. So I'm guessing he gets somewhere in the 10 to 13 salary range, which is less than I think he would get on an open market.
All right, here we are back now. Irving, they're going to try and hand off. Don't get the switch there. Now Irving going to set the back screen for Brown. They don't switch that again. Horford with the jumper, not there, and we're going to stay right here, it looks like. See who this foul is on.
I'm guessing it's Mirotic on Jaylen Brown. Yeah, there's a little bit of a hook there.
Yeah, Brown was able to get inside position off the back screen, which Mirotic did a pretty good job of covering without having to switch. Horford looking for Brown on the handoff. Mirotic trying to stay with him. Brown going right at it. Oh, and Giannis came out of nowhere for the block. Brown was concerned enough with Lopez, and now Bledsoe ties up Irving because this could be Milwaukee ball.
Yeah, hit Kyrie in the foot, and so now Milwaukee has a chance to tie the game.
Yeah, Boston still has gotten absolutely nothing at the rim so far. Nothing at the free throw line. They're getting the open jumpers. We'll have to just see whether that's going to be enough. Bledsoe snakes it on Morris, goes into him, stopped. Bledsoe has gotten to the rim a couple of times, but not able to finish. Now Irving gets past Lopez, but didn't take the layup. Instead, a three from Tatum is not there. Wide open three. That's the type of look they have to knock down. Middleton ahead to Bledsoe. He's got Giannis, but Horford with the deflection.
Middleton was wide open.
Yeah, now he's going to blow by his man. Gets it to Bledsoe in the corner. Bucks got to actually shoot the ball, and that's not what they had in mind as Morris has stopped Bledsoe a couple of times here. Horford closed down nicely by Lopez. Oh, and Middleton came off of his man, Brown, who wasn't in position, so he was able to help right off of him. And now Irving's going to pick up the foul in transition called by Kenny Maurer.
So that's the second team foul on Boston, first on Kyrie. Celtics have taken 6 3-pointers, Milwaukee only 2. Milwaukee has missed both theirs, and then Boston 2 of 6. And not surprisingly, low offensive rebound game, 1 for Boston, 0 for Milwaukee.
Hayward has come on at a nice game 1, non-existent in game 2. He does give them some penetration, which I think they desperately need. Now they've got Giannis guarded by Irving. They better come with the double. Instead, they throw it to Bledsoe. Bledsoe takes another tough shot, but he hit that one. I kind of like Giannis attacking Irving better than Bledsoe attacking Horford, but that worked out okay. Giannis looking to get Bledsoe involved early with some of his struggles in this building. Ilyasova guarding Horford. Help comes from the top from Bledsoe. Horford with the turnover. Bucks looking to run. He's got Ilyasova behind him. Nice pass. Right back to Bledsoe. Loads up the corner three. Not there.
And that was a tougher shot. Kyrie Irving got a good contest right onto Bledsoe's right hand.
Celtics almost lose it. Now Hayward has the advantage, he thinks, on Mirotic. Going to put him in the mix. Goes to the left. Wide open corner three. And that's great scouting. I mean, the Celtics are getting open shots here and just not making them right now. But Ersan Ilyasova is just coming off the corner with Al Horford. Here's a three from Middleton. Not there. Rebound Horford. Irving looks to attack Bledsoe in transition. Giannis was just a little bit too late to recognize the attack, and Irving scores.
Both teams a little bit loose with the ball here early.
Oh, nice crossover from Giannis. Goes at Horford, who recovered really nicely. Celtics rim protection has had an impact. Here's Hayward. He's going to get crushed by Bledsoe, and Hayward will go to the foul line.
And so, like, an athletic player who's like, oh, shit, I can get to that, and just realize the only way to do it is to go through Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, and Ilyasova, I don't think you're going to get a charge on Kyrie Irving 25 feet from the basket. Just a thought. And this is a time where you can really take advantage, as Bledsoe is exhausted. He's done a lot on both ends so far. You can really start to take advantage of those tendencies from Ilyasova to overhelp, and that's how they set up that corner three. Ojale is in, Baines is in, Horford will get a break. Giannis remains on the floor, so probably Ojale is going to have the matchup against Giannis. They're trying to bring Tatum to the ball, guarded by Connaughton. Good help from Ilyasova to take that away. Hayward pick and roll, goes at Ilyasova. Giannis helping on Ojale. He'll drive. Tatum eludes Connaughton, who got in the air, and hits the two-point jumper. That's a little bit aggressive on the closeout there from Connaughton.
Well, and a little aggressive on the help. But that's their system, to an extent.
Yep. Giannis pivots into a screen on Tatum. They switch this. Giannis goes right through him. I thought he got fouled there, too.
Yeah, and most guys, when they when they have like 8 feet conceded, will just take the shot. Giannis uses that to get a driving lane.
To me, when it's not Horford, what you need to do with Giannis is just pick a side. Force him to that side and just know that that's where the help is. It's when he can Euro, when he can spin back, and obviously easier said than done, that he's going to just beat you right to the rim for those uncontested finishes. Force him one way into the help. See, like, I think they should have forced him in the middle there on Baines. Instead, he goes baseline, and he's going to get fouled again.
Giannis, the only player in this game, 7.5 minutes in, who has taken free throws. This will be his third and fourth. And that's foul.
Yep. Got him on the arm, and also the forearm is probably a foul as well. This has been an exhausting pace early here.
Josh Steinkev says home team should only wear white jerseys or throwbacks. I'm broadly on board with that. I mean, especially because most teams have a really nice, light variant. It could be cream or something in that ilk as well. But, I mean, a lot of teams have it, and those uniforms are often underutilized in favor of color ones, and I don't like it as much. But I wouldn't support, like, a league rule. It's just what I prefer.
Yeah, more choice is usually better. Giannis bringing Milwaukee within one. George Hill is in now for Milwaukee. Tatum, they're looking to screen Ilyasova onto Irving. They'll just switch this here. Irving gets it back. Tatum was getting ready to go. He's like, no, Kyrie, I'm going to take this back to go at Ilyasova. Giannis with the help. Baines sets up the three-pointer. Aaron Baines does not have the golden playoff touch that he had last year so far. Oh, that's got to be a charge. He didn't even come close to faking him out.
I didn't see the ref signal there.
I mean, he just ran right into him.
Everybody ran through him.
And the thing is, like, if he just keeps going in one direction, he goes by him. So Giannis looking pretty exhausted. He's going to get a little bit of a break. Probably not much reason for Ojale to be in the game right now, though, if Giannis is out. Maybe you could go to a more offensive group right now if you're Stevens. Hayward engaging Lopez. Gets stripped from behind and recovers. Goes at Middleton again. Help from Connaughton. Now Lopez out on Tatum's three. And Bucks rebound. Good rotations from the Bucks that time. Connaughton has Baines, instead gets it to Hill. They're going to go for the screen. Boston is now switching everything themselves. Hill into the lane, sets up Connaughton for the wide open corner three. Nice. Very interesting to me that they're just going to switch Aaron Baines out on the floor there. Irving tried to take the charge, and that left Hayward. I think he's got to get down to the corner a little bit more and trust someone else to come behind him. But I think his concern is Chris Middleton, as you mentioned, is this awesome three-point shooter in the playoffs, and Connaughton, is more of a low 30s type of guy.
And after Boston, they went out to that hot start. I think it was a 10-2 lead. They just haven't gotten as good of looks, and also I think they've missed a few that they could have made as well. See if we have any questions.
Is Andre Iguodala the best mid-30s non-star ever? That's interesting, right? Because usually by the time you get to 35, like him, you're not going to be that athletic. You've just kind of fallen out of things. Yeah, that's a tough question. He's got to be up there for sure.
Yeah, because we're counting Stockton, and is he in the star group, or is he? You would know that part of his career.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was still at 35. That was like, when they're still in the finals, he was the second best player still. So yeah. What happened to Tatum's jumper? Well, I mean, it's not. He was over his head a little bit last year. I think that was a big part of it, to be high 40s on threes. Part of why I made that bet with Jared Weiss was I thought he was going to decline in terms of his three-point shooting. Maybe not this much, but the idea that he was going to just up his volume and shoot those same percentages as last year may have been a little bit unrealistic.
Over under 75% chance that Tobias Harris is back with Philadelphia next year. Where else could you see him? I would take the over on that, because they can offer that 5th year, and they traded for him, and I'm guessing they could have done that deal without some preliminary understanding, but I'm sure that would have made them more confident. And when you consider what they gave up, but like where he could go otherwise, Brooklyn is an option. I mean, they could just use more scoring on the forward line. Depending on what like Indiana or Utah wants to do, I don't love him either of those places. But I'm just thinking of teams that aren't going to be going after stars. I talked about it with Jared Dubin, and we both cracked up about the possibility of Harris re-signing with the Clippers, and it's not going to happen. But I'm really interested in what, like, more so than where he ends up if it's not Philadelphia. Which guys wait for the big guys to decide and which guys sign early. And I think that's going to be more about whether somebody is risk averse than anything else. But those decisions are going to be extremely important. So, could a team like, I'm trying to think of the right example here, like Sacramento, they're going to have a lot of space. Could they go after somebody and say, hey, this offer's on the table right now. Are you really willing to turn that down for the possibility of X? And some guys will, absolutely.
Yeah, they're showing here Irving did not really, and the number of steps that Giannis takes, but what they're showing here, Irving did not get his body in front of Giannis to really make him help. And Bledsoe, where he's at, he's not even in a shooting position. Probably want to have more help there. Yeah, so it was such a nice start for Boston. They scored 10 quick points early and really just have not had the touch since then. This is going to be a hold on Hill as Irving was trying to come off the Ojale screen. Baines has been replaced by Horford as they try to get a little more offense on the floor. Rozier in a two-guard alignment with Irving. Irving triggers. They force Rozier out on the floor nicely, and now they'll have to run their play a little bit differently. Irving on the blow-by from Lopez. Tons of help there. Comes over, but Irving beat like three guys that he faked out. I mean, Ilyasova flew by, the guy from the wing. Now Irving trying to pressure up on Middleton. That's a matchup that they need to go right to. Connaughton, not a good shot. Yeah, I know he made that, but I mean, that is just... that the Bucks love that DHO coming out of the corner to the guy shooting the three. but that's pretty contested, not really on balance. Morris getting past Ilyasova, stopped by Lopez underneath, gets it out to the sideline, but it just sails out of bounds.
And I liked Connaughton fighting through that Morris screen and not forcing the switch. I thought that worked better.
Yeah, and Ilyasova, he's getting beat at the point of attack, but they've got plenty of help behind him. Those guys have got to try to drive and kick and get some open three-pointers because they're not going to finish at the rim. Now, Horford just lost Lopez. Oh, Connaughton skies, but, that was only like a 37-inch vertical. If he was 44, that would have been a dunk. So Pat Connaughton has been a factor so far here.
Pat Connaughton is tied for the leading scorer in this game.
And there's a pick and pop three from Horford. I thought that's a pretty good contest. You're going to have to live with that one if you're the Bucks, unless you're just going to switch everything. Middleton, they love running that screen in semi-transition. Now Middleton facing up on Morris. Not really the size advantage. Goes to the quickness instead, and Morris, great hands. He's been effective defensively so far. Irving going at Ilyasova. That's got to be a blocking foul, and it is. And they're going to count it, too. Yeah, Ersan Ilyasova, you are not going to take a charge on Kyrie Irving. How about you just play some defense instead? He's got these great help instincts. It'd be nice if he actually
use them
tried to make a play. Defense. Yeah. All right, if it's and he's also not even close to getting there either. I mean, that's just a bad play.
Boston's first free throw of the game goes to Kyrie Irving, and unfortunately, he is now ahead of Pat Connaughton for leading scorer in the game. Womp womp.
Bledsoe is back. Rozier guarding him. Connaughton almost just ran him over. Screen away for Connaughton. Pitch back to Bledsoe. They'll switch this. Now Bledsoe, as they're switching everything, they've got Lopez in the post. 8 on the clock. Double team's going to have to come here. Lopez is just too big. Just way too big for Gordon Hayward. They need to get help there. And I like them just getting the ball to Lopez, even though he's not at the rim, and Lopez just takes his time. Lopez is not a great passer, though. That's why I think they really need to double team on that play. Irving into the lane, goes to the fade, and that's off. Good defense again by the Bucks. That's the shot that's going to be there for Irving on penetration. Getting all the way to the rim, probably not going to happen against this team. Bledsoe, he broke Horford's ankles, but couldn't get the shot. I still like that Bledsoe has been aggressive early, though. The step-up screen from Horford, Rozier, Bledsoe, great compete to get back into position. Morris's 3 over Ilyasova is good.
And Ilyasova, I don't know if he was afraid of the drive, but he was about a half step further away from Morris than I would have liked.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no reason he shouldn't have been able to get out there on that one. But the Bucks, again, are going to give up that above the break 3. Here's Hill off the dribble. He's been more aggressive off the dribble than basically we've ever seen him. Morris with the deep post up on Hill, and he scores easily. And I don't know if Bud's going to get a timeout here. No, he's not, because they have a 1 second differential before the end of the quarter. But nice response here from Boston with Giannis out of the game. Their offense has looked a lot better. Rozier trying to hound Bledsoe. Eric takes his time. Screen comes up here from Lopez. Rozier's out of the play. Oh, man, Bledsoe. Marcus Morris is not an easy guy to overpower like that. And once again, just no help available at the rim from Boston. Horford just never moved off of Ilyasova.
Did they call that foul? I guess they did.
Oh, man, that is not a good foul at all. It's a 3-shot foul on Eric Bledsoe. What a terrible play. Bledsoe getting away with the offhand shove that we've all become so endeared of.
Yeah, oh, yeah, he totally hit him. He jumped right into him.
Yeah, Irving with a smile. I think he's like, they probably want to just let me shoot that one.
Well, and the Bucks didn't really slow Kyrie down in his own half, and they could have done that, and then he wouldn't have gotten even close to the 3-point line. We've seen some teams do a much better job of pressuring the guy who it kind of seems like that team wants to have the ball. Like Steph Curry, the Clippers were basically doubling him in the backcourt on those 4 seconds left in a quarter situations, and I think that's a good idea. I mean, because the pass goes so far in the air if you're going to try to beat wherever that seam is further down, wherever the opening is, that you can probably scramble and get help. Out of the Pacers, Mavericks, Jazz, and Kings, who is the most likely to lure a max free agent? For me, it's Dallas. Dallas has, Cuban has the rep. There are a bunch of players that are either from Texas or have lived there in their past, and it seems like a popular city there. I mean, I think Salt Lake City is very nice. I've actually been to all of those cities but Dallas, but from player rep, and I mean, I would say Dallas has the brightest young core of that group. Maybe. I mean, obviously Mitchell and Gobert are great, but Porzingis and Luka is a sales pitch all its own.
All right, so that question about the best role player, I tweeted it out. Feldman messaged me. He said Dennis Rodman at 35. Yeah,
that's a good call.
That's got to be up there. I forgot how old he was on those Bulls teams. I'll scroll through a few more notifications here. Some people said Manu at I think by 2014 he was 35 or so, and that's got to be up there too. Let's see here. Bruce Bowen. I'd say Iguodala is better than Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen was pretty one-dimensional. Ray Allen. Yeah, that's an interesting one at 35. I mean, the conception of whether the guy is a star or a role player or not. JJ Redick is going. He turns 35 in June.
That's right.
Yeah, I do think Iguodala is probably better than Redick overall, though. Redick has held up better, helped by the fact that Toronto ran precisely one screen targeting him the entire game.
Jeez. Somebody brought up Ray Allen. How old? When was that? Was that the second to last year? Let me look it up when that was. Okay, so Ray Allen's age 35 season was that was his 35 season was age 10 was 2010-11. Okay.
Yeah.
So all of his Miami stuff was because that was his second last year in Boston.
I mean, I think Andre right now is better than Allen was in Miami. And again, he was pretty one-dimensional. It's a pretty good dimension, but
God, you wonder what Ray Allen, if he was, let's say, 10 years younger, what his not necessarily his shot chart, but his frequency would be. Like, would he have taken so many more threes?
Yeah, and deep threes, too. So, Boston, 1 of 4 at the rim. But they are 6 of 9 on twos away from the rim, and that's been a big help. Irving has taken all 4 of their free throws. And the three-pointer, not bad for Boston. They're getting up a few more. Remember, Boston only got up. They're 4 of 11 right now. They only got up 23 three-pointers through the first 3 quarters of Game 2.
Yeah. Milwaukee's only taken 1 mid-ranger, which missed. They're 5 of 7 in the restricted area, 2 of 5 floater, and then 3 of 9 from 3, most of those above the break, and then they've gotten to the line 4 times, which is the same number as Boston. Wait, because Kyrie got an and 1 and then a 3-shot foul. I was like, how's it 4 free throws? But that's what it is.
All right, we're back here. Giannis did not come back in at the end of the quarter. I think he just looked real tired, so maybe they give
Andy
him
was a little
more.
later than they like it. There just wasn't a stoppage at the right time.
Bledsoe, Connaughton, another three-pointer. That is off. Again, I know he's hit a couple here, but that's a tough shot. They didn't have much going on the possession. I think Bud would have liked better for his ATO there. Horford, hands off to Hayward. Hayward into the lane, goes at Giannis. Giannis retreats, did not challenge, and got the defensive rebound instead. Mirotic looking to pull up. Morris shuts him down. Back to Giannis. They swing it. Hill, pick and roll with Giannis. And Hill, a little bit late on that pass to Connaughton. Instead, it's Bledsoe's 3 up top. Hill with the rebound, and Boston did not box out.
Yeah, and neither one of these teams is great on the offensive glass, partially due to their positioning, but I think there will be some big offensive rebounds in this series.
And Terry Rozier, he flew at Connaughton and then just kind of had some popcorn in the stands afterwards, never got back. Connaughton crashed, and so did Hill. That left him with an overload on the offensive glass. And now Bledsoe with the push off the miss. Mirotic wide open 3, and Milwaukee has tied it.
Yeah, I think over the next couple of years we'll see even more aggressive trail threes, because when guards press, those shots are generally going to be open.
Oh, they missed Jaylen Brown off that split cut action. Wide open going back door. Horford. Giannis comes over to help. Double team. Good pass from Horford, but a great closeout from Bledsoe, and Brown hits the three anyway.
That's his second made three of the game. Both corner. That one way better contested than his first one.
Bledsoe crossing up on Rozier, goes into him, and we're going to go the other way. That one looked like it was a blocking foul for me.
That's a big call.
Yeah, that one is a blocking foul. I am not in agreement there.
Well, and it's also a problem. It seems like the refs are looking a little bit too closely at the nature of the reaction of the player, because then a flop is more effective. Like Terry Rozier acting like he got killed on the play probably or it had a decent chance of swinging that call.
Middleton is back. Tony Snell is going to come in for the first time in a while. Rozier, they'll switch this. Now they want to get Horford in the post. Giannis is going to come double team. Watch the rotations here. Late clock. Hill all over that rip through from Horford. We're going to stay here, but only 2.4 to work with. Horford with the my bad that he should have either attacked or moved the ball. But the Bucks really overloaded well. Mirotic getting physical with Morris, but they'll just wait a second and reset. Snell is in for Connaughton. He'll take Brown. See if President Stevens can get him a look here. Rozier pops out. Giannis all over. He's just going to travel.
I think he stepped out of bounds before he traveled, but it was one of
he saved him a very embarrassing block. Giannis like, I don't think I need to jump here. Rozier trying to provide some pressure on Hill. Always worthwhile for the reserve. Middleton sets the screen. They'll switch this. Now Middleton wants it at the nail against Rozier. They're going to help here. It'll be interesting to see. Middleton into the lane. Brown comes late. Horford gets a piece. And Boston lucky to control it.
That was wide enough. I thought it might be a lob for a second.
Hayward down the lane. Goes at Mirotic. Gives it up. Brown with the easy lay.
A great pass there. Gordon Hayward, I think he went up with the intention of finishing it, but didn't really have the line, and so he just gave it to Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, and Giannis, again, just a little slow reacting to that Hayward cut. Here's the, I guess you could call it a 5-1 pick and roll if you want to say that Giannis is the 5 right now, and a foul on Horford.
So Giannis overall, 8 points, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from the line, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 block.
Ojale is back in. We're going to see a lot of charges in this series. Giannis commits a lot of charges. Ilyasova loves to take charges. Oh, Giannis with the inside-out dribble, but then he just lost it. He wanted a foul call. I like seeing him go to a little bit more advanced dribble moves, though. Rozier into the lane. Stop from behind. Mirotic got a hand on it. Now it's Hayward into the lane. More great hands from the Bucks. Taken away. Middleton goes right at Morris. That was the perfect decision because they had loaded up to that potential alley-oop to Giannis and a nice move of the ball to finish with the left.
Not a lot of help defense, not a lot of transition from this Celtics group.
Rozier off the screen. That's a decent shot. Giannis looking to attack Ojale in transition. He's got a little bit quicker of feet. Here's Snell going to go on the drive at Brown, and he just gets pinned on the backboard.
You don't need help defense if you can recover like that.
Connaughton is going to come back in. Here's the drive by Hayward into Mirotic. They swing it. Morris wide open 3 at the top. Yes. And Gordon Hayward is doing a much better job than anyone else on the Celtics of penetrating, drawing and kicking, and setting up his open teammates. And Tony Snell did not have a great couple of minutes there.
He did not. I mean, he only took 1 shot and it got blocked, but, I mean, I don't think he showed enough there for Bud to be enthusiastic about bringing him back. Seeing Capella get played off the floor by the Warriors, do you see the same happening to the East Bigs if they play in the finals? It's definitely possible. I mean, the Warriors are such a great team at forcing those guys into tough situations, especially if they're using Draymond at center, which it looks like they will, and he'll be the active screener. The most intriguing of those for me is actually Joel Embiid for a couple reasons. The biggest one being that they don't really have a clear-cut smaller lineup that makes sense. Milwaukee could theoretically go with Giannis at the 5, and Toronto has a bunch of different iterations that they could go to if they needed to, but Philly is shallow, and they might just say, hey, let's roll with what we have. Maybe they would put Embiid on, like, Iguodala and dare him to shoot, kind of like they have with Siakam. Let me see if we have anything.
Oh, we have things. Is Monte Morris the best backup point guard in the playoffs? Well, I might have thought Van Vliet would be in that conversation, but not really. So far, the way he's played. Yeah, it hasn't been a great group. Backup point guards don't do so well in the playoffs a lot of times, a traditional backup point guard. If you look at some of the teams, look at all the best teams. Like Houston doesn't really have one. Warriors don't really have one. Philly doesn't really have one that they're playing.
Well, and a big part of that is because there aren't that many players bigger than point guard size that can handle the ball really well, but they happen to not coincidentally be on the best teams in the league. Like Harden and Durant and Ben Simmons and Nikola Jokic, like those type of guys are often on really good teams.
George Hill was mentioned, and yeah, I mean that's the way he's played. So he's probably played the best of any backup point guard in the playoffs so far. Although again, that first round series wasn't really the playoffs.
I mean, we would have thought before how badly he's played in this series that it would be Fred VanVleet.
Oh yeah, Dinwiddie is the answer there.
Yeah, if we're saying including eliminated
ones. It's been so long since Brooklyn was in the playoffs.
Dennis Schroeder. No. Corey Joseph.
Yeah, but Dinwiddie is the answer. He's much
I mean,
more
we both prefer Dinwiddie to the guy who's starting. So
yeah. All right, so we're gonna be back here momentarily. We haven't seen Lopez come back. Middleton, and that was they were lucky that pass got deflected because number one, Connaughton tripped on the roll, and number two, there were like 3 guys there to intercept the pass, and Mirotic is telling Middleton, "Hey, weak side, I was open." They screen for Mirotic, now back up top to Giannis. Just gonna spread it out here. Now the screen from Mirotic, Morris. Mirotic with the one dribble pull up on Ojale, right back Middleton. Connaughton set an illegal screen. Mirotic goes down in the rebounding action, and the Celtics have a 5-on-4 right now. They should look to push. Hayward, he's got Brown wide open in the corner. Oh man, that's just a killer.
That's his third make from that left corner.
Yeah, I mean that's just not good enough from the Bucks. Like Mirotic going down like that, like both guys went down and he just didn't get up. I mean that's right after a timeout. Mirotic on the drive, goes to the left hand beautifully. He beat Morris. Good pass there for Middleton. This is a limited offensive group with no Horford, no Kyrie. Hayward trying to put Mirotic in the mix. More help comes. They swing it. Another corner 3. Oh, Connaughton with the rejection on Ojale. Connaughton shot out of a cannon. His athleticism has made a difference tonight.
Yeah, he has definitely been the best of their more traditional twos in this one.
It's been feast or famine on these Hayward drives.
Well, in that one, I mean, I think it could have created a good look. It's just that Connaughton recovered for the block.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Kyrie's back in now.
Yeah, Hayward and Horford. Hayward is going to take a break. Kyrie, nice job getting through the screen by Bledsoe. Kyrie, though, finds the three. Giannis couldn't recover the rebound. Here's a drive from Brown. Nice driving kick. Tatum. Connaughton flies by. Connaughton really wants to block three-pointers.
He got one.
Tatum looking much more comfortable stepping into it, too. That was on his college scouting report. Here's Middleton. Kyrie is guarding him. Bledsoe load up the three. Wide open. Can't get it.
Let's see if Tatum attacks Middleton here.
They're trying to post up Brown on Bledsoe. I don't think of this as an advantage matchup. Brown goes to the fadeaway, and that wasn't really a great possession.
No.
If you think you got the size advantage, use it. Here's a deep three from Mirotic with Kyrie contesting. Kyrie, they're going to set up another wide open corner three and another bucket. And that's just those principles there in semi-transition, they're just not good enough, right? Like, Mirotic is just going to come off the strong side corner. There's help behind him. He just, like, one pass away, wide open three is not good enough. Nice left-handed pass. Here's Giannis into Morris, and he's going to pick up the foul. Beautiful left-handed pass from Middleton.
There are still only 2 players in this entire game that have attempted free throws. Giannis is 5th and 6th. Kyrie has 4. That's incredible.
I mean, this is just they got to be like 5 out of 7 on corner threes or something like that.
Yeah, it's close to. I think it's more like 5 out of 8 or 5 and 9, but it's still
they're getting too many.
Way too many. And they're other than the Connaughton block, they're basically open almost every time. Like Jalen had a little bit of a contest on one of them, but not that much.
4 of 5 from the left corner, 0 for 3 on the right corner.
Okay.
So only 4 out of 8. But I mean, it's been just not good enough transition defense from the Bucks, and they don't hit the offensive glass. They need to do a better job of getting back.
And it's not like, oh, those are lucky shots to make an open corner three. Like, that's one of the best shots in basketball.
No, and I don't think Boston is really, like, playing that well right now. That this is, like, impossible to deal with. Lopez, Kyrie breaks him down, gets the shot, but Lopez has done well contesting him. Giannis looking to go through 2 guys, and he's going to get fouled again. And Horford with a look at Tatum like, hey, maybe you got to even get another step over here. Yeah, that's what Horford's saying. Horford is saying, look, I'm intentionally getting to the side of him. We're forcing him left. You need to get your body in front of him, because if you don't, he's just going to go right through us like that.
In other words, let's form a fucking wall. And Giannis he's making his free throws so far. That puts him at 5 of 7 in the game. Has not taken a 3. But the situation hasn't really presented itself either. I haven't seen him turn any down.
So Bontemps noting that Baines has only played 2 minutes.
Yeah, because they went with that small lineup instead.
Yeah, and I think Baines just got so many fouls on Giannis. I think they decided that they wanted to give Ojale a shot instead. Middleton forcing Tatum out on the floor. Kyrie's going to get the screen from Horford. Goes at Lopez. Lopez. Great job again, and Connaughton came off the strong side corner. They get the turnover. Nobody traveled somehow. They're going to push it. Giannis into the lane. Hill is wide open. Now it's Connaughton on the left wing. Yes, Pat Connaughton wanted a foul call, and Brad Stevens is going to take time with Milwaukee now. I think this is a 7-0 run.
That sounds right, and that's a big steal and transition. Remember, that was a loose ball for a bit of time, and Milwaukee still on what seemed like a 3-on-3 break still got a wide open 3.
Well, and it's real interesting. People say, all right, the Celtics got to attack the rim more. They got to attack the rim more. I mean, they're driving right into help, and they're turning the ball over. And this is not a high turnover forcing Milwaukee defense.
No, their strengths are contesting shots at the rim and not fouling more than forcing turnovers.
Yeah, Celtics with 7 turnovers already, and Kyrie with 2, Morris with 2, Hayward has 1. I thought he had more than that, but perhaps I am misremembering.
Regarding Dinwiddie and Russell, do you think most NBA coaches and execs would prefer Russell? I do. I think that the case for Dinwiddie is it's a little bit more nuanced. It's a little more analytics. But it'd be interesting because I don't think that Russell was like the most loved guy when he was on the Lakers. So, I mean, you have that, but then at the same point,
it's just I mean, the patina of number 2 overall pick versus like was basically released a couple of times.
I mean,
like,
you can see that
people can't overcome
in D'Angelo being voted not by the fans, but being voted into as a reserve in the All-Star game. I mean, that's a pretty good
by the
coaches. That's a pretty good proxy.
I mean, well, he was selected by the commissioner, but the commissioner just usually goes to whoever the next vote total was. So he was basically voted in by the coaches.
Are these playoffs getting Jaylen Brown paid? I'm not all the way there yet. He certainly has had some nice performances, and he being a forward. I think of him as a 3 as his natural position. Like, there is some value there, but he hasn't been like undeniable to me in that level that really gets guys a lot of money. And he's extension eligible this year, correct? So.
Who are you talking about?
Jaylen,
I was looking
Jaylen
for
Brown.
questions. Yeah. Yes, he will be eligible as of July 1st.
But I don't think he's made himself a ton of money in these playoffs yet. Now, if the Celtics advance past this round and he keeps playing well, then yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the perpetual Brown or Tatum debate, it could be back.
Oh, God. So many times in the early days. Not the earliest days, but early days of the show.
Has there been an update on Brogdon's status yet? He is out for this game, and there's talk that he could start to get back but in the next couple of days. But the fact that he wasn't like doubtful or questionable is not a great sign.
Yeah, he was ruled out a day ahead of time.
Yeah.
They're showing Pat Connaughton skying for that offensive rebound. When do you guys start watching tape of draft prospects?
We probably should be doing that already.
I've done a little bit, but I think that'll probably start for me mostly next week.
This is great, by the way. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's also great because Pat Connaughton was a legitimately good baseball player.
I think he like tried to really unload, and it didn't go too well.
Just a bit outside and high.
All right, we're back here. Horford. They're looking to get Brown to the near side post up here. Instead, it's Tatum off a weak side screen, and he gets the mid-ranger. Jason Tatum has had the mid-range touch that has eluded him in the first 2 games. Double screen for Middleton. Tatum just switching out onto him. Middleton, as Kyrie loads to him. Middleton with a pump fake. Goes back door. Left-handed pass again. They'll swing it. Giannis into Horford. Beautiful Euro step. That's so good.
I was sitting there going, man, Milwaukee not getting anything out of that, and then Giannis creates it.
Yeah, and it was a great pump fake and backdoor cut by Middleton that broke the defense down. So this is those 5 starters for Boston at the beginning of the year. Hayward tries to go into Lopez. They have found nothing against him on these switches. Tatum again, a nice drive. He beat Giannis pretty nicely there and got to the floater. Boston restoring order here with a couple of buckets. Middleton, baseline drive. Oh, nice pass. Great cut by Hill as Kyrie was beaten badly there. Hill is a very sneaky cutter and offensive rebounder. Now here's another 3 from Horford. And man, Lopez, it sure looks like he's getting a pretty decent contest on these, but Horford's just been draining him in his face. Middleton into the lane. That was a terrible decision. Into 3 guys. Horford, he's got Brown, left wing 3 in transition is off. Giannis with the rebound. Horford busting it to get back. Giannis attacks him, has to kick it out. Hill, Lopez, eluding Hayward, goes to the 3-pointer. Not close. Good job by Hayward continuing to compete there.
And the footwork on that is tough for a guy as big as Brook Lopez is. I mean he can do it, but that's hard.
Yeah, well, and Hayward just bothered him just enough. Here's Horford into the lane. Hayward swings it, and this is going to be a push, I think, on George Hill. No, 3-second violation, right?
Something else going back to that George Hill cut when the pass by Middleton. I like directional cuts. So he didn't cut straight to the basket because that line wasn't there. He cut more along the free throw line and created a window for Middleton to see him and make the pass. You don't always have to cut right to the basket.
Yeah, so Boston shooting it really well from three, Milwaukee a lot worse. That's really how Boston is going to win games in this series. If Milwaukee shoots it well from three, generally Boston is going to be in trouble in this series. Hayward doing a nice job of cutting off Giannis. Giannis going to attack into the lane. Braun comes over to help. This is Snell wide open underneath.
And Giannis drawing three guys basically created that opportunity and staying in the air long enough that he could see Snell and give him the ball.
Yeah, and what they're doing is getting the switch of Horford off of Giannis. I really like that strategy. Giannis is going to just be able to get to the rim against anyone else on the floor right now. Hayward trying to drive again. Lopez just shut him down. He is huge. Hayward with an awesome left-handed pass, but did he travel?
Something else I want to file away. Jason Tatum, 5 for 5 on twos, 0 for 3 on threes. His twos have been cleaner looks.
Yeah. Giannis getting away with murder again on that offhand shove-off, as they showed on the replay when he drove against Hayward.
That could be a point of education next year, hopefully.
We can only hope. Same play again. Now Horford loads to Lopez. Lopez is going to take the three. Great job by Horford getting back, but these guys trading off, hitting threes in each other's face. Milwaukee right back to a three-point game now. This is Lopez going against Kyrie off the switch. Drive by Tatum. Kyrie didn't really space well, and they were lucky the Bucks were that he didn't cash that three. That wasn't very good defense with the spacing. Here's an easy drive by Giannis, pump fake Mirotic, and he's tied the game at 53.
I like Mirotic waiting until Jaylen Brown landed to shoot. I mean, might as well. It's easier to shoot over him.
Yeah, and maybe Boston should consider giving a little bit of that Baines-Horford look right now to just get a little bit more help on Giannis. They're so small as Hayward gets a three off a flare screen from Brown. This was a nice play here. And that all comes out of the pick and pop. Snell had to rotate to Horford. That left a 2-on-1 on the backside, and that's how they get the open three. Giannis double teams. Snell looks to attack Irving into the lane. Irving forces him into a bad shot. And Tony Snell just isn't strong enough.
And you could have swung that ball over to Brook Lopez once Boston recovered. What a dribble by Kyrie.
Yeah, but then he just goes into two guys with no chance of finishing it. And this Bucks rim protection, they are probably the best rim protecting team in NBA history from a statistical standpoint. Hill, tough fade on Tatum, and Tatum saw him lose the ball and kind of just deactivated, and that let Hill get the shot. So they get the 2-for-1. Hill takes the foul, and he did not want to take that foul. That was not a good one. Not in the bonus, but they've now sacrificed the 2-for-1. Ilyasova is going to come in. Not sure who he's going to get. Maybe Giannis to just avoid a foul. No, who's he taking out? Lopez. Interesting. Lopez has been awesome. I don't know why they're taking him out.
So a defensive sub that makes them materially worse on defense. Interesting.
Does Lopez have any foul issues? No. Yeah, I guess Giannis is going to be out now,
Lopez has 0 fouls.
Yeah, I don't really care for that. I mean,
they go into like they're not going to switch everything with Ilyasova and Mirotic out there.
Yeah, Connaughton is in. They went with one other sub too. Is that Tim Frazier, who's going to just get George Hill here? I don't like this going to like guys who are just not even fresh at all,
and are not particularly like
or they're fresh but they're not warmed up.
Like just give the ball to Kyrie with Tim Frazier on him. You don't need to run.
Yeah, here's a drive by Hayward. Ilyasova with the stop. Materially worse on defense indeed. Connaughton, deep left wing three to end the half, and will go in with a 1-point Boston lead. Ilyasova, he is not materially worse. He kind of is, but still, he made a great play there.
Both teams shooting almost identical proportions from the field. 21 of 45 for Boston, 21 of 44 for Milwaukee. Boston has the advantage from three. They're +3 there, which is +9 in terms of points. Milwaukee has made some of that back at the free throw line. And so that's really where you get this close margin. Teams are shooting about the same from the field. Similar in the turnover game, same number of offensive rebounds. So a lot of parallels between these two teams so far, other than Milwaukee blocking 23% of Boston's 2-pointers.
Yeah, 5 blocked shots. And Boston, taken more threes than 2, and I still think that's going to be the formula for them in this series. They've made 44% of them. That was a quick half, wasn't it? Usually these first halves seem like they're interminable, but
It was a little less than an hour.
not a lot of free throws. Just seemed like it went by very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of stoppages, very few fouls too.
Irving, 13 points on 11 shooting possessions for him. His shot chart, an interesting one. 1 of 3 at the rim for the normal Houdini finisher. And 2 of 4 in that painted area, non-restricted. That's where I think he's really going to have to make most of his hay. He was, I think, 1 of 6 from that area in Game 2. Was awesome from there in Game 1.
Yeah, it was a huge disparity.
Give the overall shot charts. Milwaukee not shooting it incredibly well on jump shots, and only 5 of 7 at the rim for the Bucks, although they have gotten to the foul line.
Oh, I think
a
you're
little
looking
bit
at the
more.
outdated one.
Oh, am I? Yeah, you're right.
The Milwaukee's
bad.
11. They're 11 of 14 in the restricted area overall. They've still only taken 1 mid-range shot, 3 of 8 from the restricted area, and then 7 of 21 from 3. A vast majority of those coming above the break. They're 2 of 3 on corner threes, not that many attempts, and 5 of 18 above the break.
So the minute total is pretty interesting. Horford and Kyrie both with 19. Jaylen Brown 17. Marcus Morris 17. Gordon Hayward 17. Tatum with 15. So Stevens definitely, without Baines, riding his main guys a little bit more. Ojale 4, Baines 2, Rozier 9.
You know what would end up not being his biggest storyline? Eric Bledsoe's foul trouble. I mean, he
Yeah.
didn't play, but the Bucks were able to make a little bit of a rally.
Well, he was also 2 out of 10, so I think
Yeah.
getting him out of the game, and maybe Hill is probably a better spacer than him, so maybe that actually helped. We'll see whether he's a little more in control. I mean, it's good for him to be aggressive, I think, offensively, and that helps engage him defensively as well. But, yeah, that'll be interesting to see where he's at in the second half. But, I think Hill pretty clearly, to me, played better than him in the first half.
I would agree. Boston's overall shot chart, only 7 shots in restricted areas as a team, 2 of 7, 4 of 8 from floater range, 5 of 7 from mid-range, and then 10 of 23 from 3. They're 5 of 9 now on corner threes and 5 of 14 on above the break. I mean, the Jaylen Brown 3 for 4 from the left corner is significant. See if we have some questions. Oh, patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. Great way to support the show. We do subscriber-only podcasts. We'll do a mailbag pod in the next couple days whenever we have time. And salary cap sheets, early release content. It's a great way of supporting this show, especially because this is not ad-supported.
I'm taking a short break to play with the cat. It's
Nothing wrong with that.
It's very very cathartic after up and down first half.
Is Jokic the best passer ever? I think he's the best passing big I've ever seen, but best passer ever? I mean, there are a lot of ridiculous.
Yeah, Magic Johnson is pretty good, and Jokic part of why he is such a great passer for a center is his versatility to pass from anywhere on the floor and in any situation. But I mean, Magic could pass out of the post, fast break. Like I mean, when you look at what Magic was able to do, pushing the ball in the fast break,
and imagine what angles would have opened up for him with the increased floor spacing.
Oh God.
Now. Like, he could have just been diming guys up all over the place.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, guys were like, there wasn't a ton of defensive awareness back in the 80s.
Also true.
A lot of those, or intensity.
It's okay, 6.
Let's see here.
Oh, that's a good one. What has been your favorite playoff series to watch in the last decade?
Thunder Warriors
in
2016.
That's the most memorable for me.
Spurs.
Was it the
Heat,
but
but
first
that was,
Spurs Heat?
Yeah. I mean, Thunder Warriors in 2016 had like some really good close games in it too. And like the blowouts only increased the storyline.
The Megadeth lineup.
In the last decade. Yeah, I mean, Spurs Mavs 2006 is not in the last decade, but Certainly 2009 Bulls Celtics was just ridiculous.
Oh, that was a crazy series.
A good comparison for R.J. Barrett. I'm gonna have to watch more film on him. When I've seen him in person, I haven't been as impressed with him.
I kind of don't want to poison the well with my RJ Barrett comparison.
Okay. Well, then we'll save it for when we do the pod, I guess.
It's not a guy you like. It's not a guy I like either.
Trying to think of some other good playoff series.
Do we know if has Harkless been formally? Yeah, no. Harkless is, somebody said it with Harkless out. Harkless is available to play tonight per Woj. Just
yeah.
He might be on more limited minutes. I would expect that, but
Woj only slightly more reliable than our comment section. Although I do thank you, nobody for ever like completely trolling us on that.
Is my comparison Andrew Wiggins? No, it is not. Now, there are a couple things that RJ does that Wiggins does not, and vice versa. We are not doing the Nuggets game. Doing two on a night is a lot, and also because we're doing 3 days in a row. I'm assuming people would be interested in us doing Warriors Rockets as opposed to Nuggets.
Yeah, well, we haven't done a Warriors game yet either, so.
That's true.
Show Cat, please. I tried showing her. She doesn't want to play up on the couch for some reason. Come on, sweet. She's actually playing fetch right now.
Should Jake Layman get more run or a roll of the dice with? Yeah, I mean, I think you give him. I think you try him, but it's going to be a pretty quick hook, because it's. I worry a little bit about his fit in this series. But yeah, you can give him a shot. Getting some content for the gram.
Trying to, but she's not cooperating. She was playing fetch, and then I threw it, and she totally missed it, and has no idea where the toy is now. All right, you're gonna make me get up and get it.
Somebody asked for the most impressive performances on the losing end of a series. I don't know if they mean an individual. I mean, individually, I remember walking away from that. I mean, LeBron's had some ridiculous ones. I mean, LeBron was the best player in last year's. Was that last year's playoffs or 2 years ago's playoffs?
No, last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Best player in last year's playoffs. I mean, he was amazing in game one. I mean, that triple-double, like, people forget, like, I think he had a 50-point game, and maybe it was close to a triple-double in game one of that finals, and they could have easily won that game. And he was awesome. I'm trying to think of other. I mean, there are a lot of them. I mean,
what was the question?
Most impressive performances in on the losing end of a playoff series. They didn't specify individual or team.
Oh yeah, I mean 2009 LeBron against Orlando would probably be the biggest one.
When they hit that game winner over Hito.
Yeah, he averaged like 39 a game. Van Gundy was on Lowe's podcast this week, which is a great listen for anyone who hasn't listened to that yet. And he said that was like their strategy was like let LeBron get his, but for the efficiency for that time and to put up like 39 a game was pretty ridiculous.
It was before our time, but I've heard that the Jerry West series where he got the Finals MVP was completely ridiculous, and I mean that Boston team was completely stacked, and West got it to a Game 7.
Does Kawhi's offensive game remind you of NJ's, albeit not as good? One of the things that's very underrated about Jordan, and that I've always felt Kobe could do better, was Jordan was actually a really good player off the ball. He would run off of screens a lot, back cut guys, just get himself open jumpers in the half court. So really, he was for the time when didn't shoot the three as much, but was a pretty scalable player in that he could play off the ball a little bit more. And Kawhi doesn't really do that as much. Kawhi is much stronger, more about creating space and getting to his shots. Jordan wasn't as into the like I'll overpower you type of deal. I mean, it was more just like footwork in the post, fadeaways. Whereas Kawhi, he's going to knock into you to create space, and that's why he's going to get a shot off. Where Jordan didn't do that as much, And that wasn't something that people did as much back then either. It was really it was guys like Sam Cassell who kind of really, to me, pioneered that the most, of just really like using your shoulder, knocking guys back, creating space to score in the mid range.
Do the Lakers have the room to trade for AD and sign a max free agent? They do. They would have to structure it in that the signing would at least be consummated before the trade, but they have enough salary to send that they could do it without using cap space, which means that the answer is yes. Now, they need somebody to actually agree to take their money, but yes, it is possible.
Who has the highest ceiling of the East teams? It might be the Philadelphia 76ers, honestly enough. That was a hell of a ceiling they showed yesterday.
I still think it's the Bucks, but
they just don't have as many like great players though.
I think their defensive ceiling is high, and I mean, like when Bledsoe is really engaged. It's also hilarious because all four of those teams played really well in games at Oracle this year. So it's like, yeah. I've seen something close to all four team ceilings.
Yeah. I mean, and Toronto, I probably would have said them, but their offensive struggles the last couple of games would give me a lot of pause there. Oh, I don't listen to many non-basketball podcasts. Hardcore History is unbelievable. That's probably my favorite non-basketball podcast. Other than that, not many. I do listen to Ross Tucker's football podcast, especially when he has Andrew Brandt on. I think it's just interesting to hear the business side. I don't know the football cap that well, but it's interesting to hear that perspective. But other than that, it's mostly audiobooks when I'm going for audio entertainment that's like not basketball related.
I listen to How Did This Get Made, which is comedians talking about bad movies. I do a lot of audiobooks as well, and I listen to fewer podcasts than you do because of the structure. Actually, I'm going to start listening to it more now. Can the Clippers put together a competitive package for Anthony Davis? I'm conflicted on this because I like Shea a lot, but I mean, I think Boston's package of assets is way better, but maybe Boston doesn't put all of their assets in play. I also don't think David Griffin's going to love like Gallinari in a package. Gallinari, basically a 1-year expiring contract, would have bird rights functional enough to re-sign him after that, but I don't know that you're sitting there going, oh man, he's going to be the answer to the next step. So and especially because the Clippers don't have really good draft assets. They don't. Not only do they not have their own first-round pick this year, but if they're getting AD, their picks are going to be shit for moving forward. So I don't think they're quite there as of now. I guess maybe with the Miami pick, but I mean that's not to me a blue chip asset because we don't know what Miami's going to be.
Yeah, I mean we'll see what the other offers are. Carlin is more flash than substance, FYI. All right, I'll stop listening to him immediately in that case. No, I just find that, making audio history entertaining, like there has to be a little bit of that. I mean, I think he spends a decent amount of time on primary sources, and some of the other history podcasts that I've tried are just a little bit too dry for in the car audio entertainment and a long drive. So if I need like some hardcore stuff, I'll read like an actual real history book. I even still read like my old like AP European history textbooks sometimes.
In that way, we are somewhat different people.
All right, is the game?
I do periodically go back to my political philosophy books, but that's a little bit different.
Yeah, this halftime has been way too long.
Well, okay, here's one. Would you swap Lowry for DeRozan right now if you're the Raptors? No.
Nah,
DeRozan would be a rough play in this series against the Sixers.
Yeah, he wouldn't have the size advantage on anyone, other than maybe Redick.
Yeah. DeMar DeRozan, as flawed as Lowry can be at moments, DeRozan is not for these rounds of the playoffs at all.
Nah, dude, you have to buy your books in high school. At least my high school, we did.
I did not have to buy my books in high school. I don't don't think I did. I had to buy them in college, that's for sure.
Thank God the Illinois statute of limitations from 1998 has expired. All right, we're back here. Giannis back to goal against Brown. They're getting that switch again. Help comes from Tatum. Late clock. Giannis steps through and he's going to go to the foul line. And Tatum and Brown just didn't quite execute that trap well enough. But to see what Milwaukee has done here, getting the switch, that's close to a foul on Giannis with that little chicken wing behind Brown. That's what he's saying, at least. When you have two hands on the ball, you can usually get away with that, though, if it's not too egregious. That's what I tell people when I do that move and pick up. So Giannis hits the first free throw, and we've got a tie game. I think would this be the first Bucks lead that we've had in, like...
I think period.
Yeah.
Because remember, they were down 10-2. I don't think they pulled the lead at any point. I could be wrong, but I don't.
Giannis with
and
a very
still
short
not going to
free
have the
throw.
lead.
Bledsoe with the 3 fouls on Irving. Let's see what Brad Stevens has for the first possession here. A little Iverson cut for Tatum into the lane. Now that little head tap action, and they get the wide open 3. So a lot of teams are doing that now. They stole it from the Warriors. Bledsoe with just a terrible turnover. Now Middleton tries to commit the foul. Can't. Tatum into the lane, and he is going to get fouled by Giannis. I did not see a lot of contact there.
No, they should have called the foul on Middleton and not the foul on Giannis.
Yeah, let's see if this is... Yeah, I didn't see much there.
No,
I mean, if you want to call it earlier, maybe. But going back to that initial play, it's almost like a hammer play, but to the opposite side. If you think of the play the Warriors run, where they run a double high screen and then throw it into the post to KD, and the big screens away for Curry to get that shot right where Kyrie did. Instead, what the Celtics did was they got Tatum with what appeared to be an advantage, had him drive towards the baseline, but the whole action was to set up that screen for Kyrie come to the ball. Really nice. A lot of teams are starting to find little ways to do that now. Here's the screen for Giannis by Bledsoe. Giannis has space on Horford into the lane, shoots it over him, and misses. That's something where Giannis can get a little bit better a touch. They're trying to force Kyrie left. That's what Bledsoe's doing. Gets a hand on the pass. And that was a miscommunication. I'm surprised Horford didn't take that 3. Mirotic over the screen. Good job by him. Tatum with the jumper and hits.
And
they'll live with that one.
Once Kyrie passed out, he completely deactivated from the rest of that play. He didn't do anything. He could have cut to the opposite corner or something.
Here's Mirotic with the quick release. Giannis, excellent recognition, taking advantage of Tatum loading to him and just gunned it right to the corner. The speed on that pass was key. Kyrie forced to his left again. They get the switch. Lopez gets his ankles broken, and Kyrie, that's really the approach for him, is just get Lopez out in space. Trying to drive on him, he hasn't had success, so just get the open jump shot. Now Middleton with his 3-pointer, that's not good defense, and they're going to go to the foul line here for Chris Middleton on the landing zone foul.
The last time you'll hear that on the NBA cast. No.
Yeah, well, maybe tonight. We're doing Houston, Golden State tomorrow. But
that was a foul. And I think he was in the space.
Yeah, and Bledsoe created that by setting a little screen as he handed off. Now Bledsoe went for a dumb gamble.
What was that dribble?
And it's just, that's all Bledsoe going for a dumb gamble in the backcourt. They just gave up a layup because of that. He's been so bad. Now he's going to draw the foul, non-shooting. Let me see. I want to go back and look at that dribble that you talked about. Oh, yeah, that's so nice. Like the inside out, push it way ahead when he was splitting. That was beautiful from Kyrie. Yeah, look at this. They're showing the replay now. So he has beaten Lopez twice here. But that one's on Eric Bledsoe for just going for a no-hope steal in the backcourt. Here's Mirotic on a nice drive, and he scores.
And now the Bucks have the lead. Here we go. Didn't happen before.
Irving gives it to Tatum, going at Middleton. Mirotic helping off the corner. Nice job closing out as well. Did 2 things at once there. Here's Brown!
Wow!
Oh,
nice
man! You know what that one reminds me of? the Vince Carter on Alonzo Mourning where he almost went under the rim and then curled it back over and dunked it on. That's I think 3 times this year that Braun has gotten Giannis. Now Horford with the great hands on the pocket pass. Here's Braun feeling it again, and he's going to get fouled by Mirotic. Braun with a couple of words for Mirotic saying, yeah, you damn well better foul me. You're going to get dunked on just like Giannis did. Wow, let's see the replay of this. This is fantastic. Right foot, right hand. Oh, it's so good.
And he used his body to screen off Giannis there beautifully.
Yeah, and Giannis really, maybe if he tries to block that with his left hand, he has more success. But no, that was just fantastic. Now, Braun missing the free throw, which has been a pain point for him in his career. Man, that dunk came out of nowhere. He loves to jump off the opposite foot and dunk it with that same hand. High pick and roll. Bledsoe goes right past Morris into the lane. Kyrie gets the block, but
I think the foul was in the body before the block.
Yeah, they're going to call Morris on this.
That's my read.
I mean, Morris did a pretty good job avoiding contact. I think it's just going to be out of bounds. And Kyrie got up there. Yeah, it is out of bounds. Here's Lopez with a deep 3. Not there. Bledsoe beats Kyrie to the rebound. Lopez, good job getting through Kyrie into the lane and dunks.
The glacial break.
Yes. Oh, that was fantastic. I mean, Brook Lopez is so huge. Like, you could just feel it was like a snowball rolling downhill as he got into the lane. Now Kyrie attacking Lopez. Nice veer back from Bledsoe. Lopez denying. They missed a chance to switch back. Kyrie deep 3 on Lopez. Not there. Rebound Giannis. Giannis looking to push it. They load to him. Not well enough. And with Lopez having sprinted down into the corner, he had enough gravity that they couldn't get enough guys there. And the whole thing about Horford being able to stop Giannis one-on-one, that seems like a thing of the past at this point. Giannis got away with a hold on the Tatum back cut. Now he's pressuring up Morris. Morris tries to beat him into the lane and scores somehow. Timeout by the Bucks as Morris has tied it. How are you feeling about the rest of this game here so far as it's kind of picked up offensively here in this quarter?
I think the Bucks have played a little bit better since that slow start, but not so much that, like a slight bit of shooting luck for either team would swing it. So I think I'd lean slightly towards Milwaukee, but not much.
Yeah, this has been very interesting with Kyrie going at the Lopez on these switches. They're going to probably bring Ilyasova in to do that as well. And hopefully we're going to get a close game. I'm very interested to see, is the closing group going to be Giannis and Mirotic at 4 and 5, or are they going to throw a big out there as well? Kind of funny, by the way. Think of all the times, Danny, that we've railed against Mirotic having to play the 3. But because Giannis is really one of their primary ball handlers, it actually works just fine.
And also Lopez spacing not like a 5. Functionally speaking, it's a little bit different with that team. We are on YouTube. It's just a different account. You could find it. It's been tweeted out more than a few times by Nate's account. Thank you, Ben. Oh, Ime Udoka is interviewing for the Cavs job. I do enjoy that, like, the Cavs job is out there, but it's like all assistants that are interviewing for it, so I don't have a take.
Catch you up on the identical advanced stats. 115 offensive rating for both teams. 69 points on 60 possessions. And it's really pretty consistent throughout. Boston, a few more turnovers. Bucks, a few more offensive rebounds. But other than that, it's really... And then Boston making up for that with the three-point shooting. So from a statistical standpoint, it's been nearly even for both teams.
Leading scorer is a tie between Kyrie and Giannis. Both have 17. Kyrie doing it on 6 of 14 from the field and 4 of 4 from the line. Giannis 5 of 7 from the field, no threes, and 7 of 10 from the line. Giannis 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 turnovers. Kyrie 3 assists, 2 turnovers. He hasn't done a lot of like those drive-in passes in this game.
See if there's anything important on Twitter. There is not, so we can do some more questions. Is Dave Yeager in the mix anywhere? Does not appear that he is. I did have one more guaranteed year left on his contract, so he can kind of sit out.
Yeah, I mean, he has, from what I had heard, he has a positive relationship with Glenn Taylor, but it doesn't sound like that job's going to be available for him. I could see Yeager, just taking a year and just seeing what's out there. And given how many jobs were open last summer, it seems very possible that the disappointing ones of those coaches will be let go next year.
Yeah.
Whatever jobs that turns out to be.
All right, we're back here.
That said, I think a lot of the new coaches have done good jobs. Like, I liked a lot of what like Borrego did. Obviously, Clifford doing a wonderful job, and
I mean, what's so good about Borrego?
I liked some of what he did offensively.
I guess
It was fine.
Seemed like
I don't think they defended particularly well. I'd have to look that up though.
they did not. They were in like 21st or something. All right, we're back here. Here's the screen for Mirotic. Hill on the Iverson cut. Now Giannis, as Mirotic just gets it stolen by Tatum. That was awful. Great play by Jason Tatum. I wasn't even watching up top. I was looking at the action away. I didn't see how that happened.
He just ripped him up.
Mirotic looking to get the three, but Tatum shuts that down. Pick and roll. Giannis. Crossover on Horford into the lane, and Horford's going to get called for that push.
I thought Horford closed out a little too hard there. He didn't need to take that last step, and then that's what gave Giannis the ability to drive to his right.
Well, I mean, I think these threes that Giannis has hit have really opened things up extremely well for his drive game. And maybe they're overreacting to that a little bit, but it does seem like Horford is much further out on the floor.
I mean, I think, did he make 2 threes last game, or was it 3? I think it was 2 for 4.
Ojale is in. Tatum guarding Giannis. 7 on the clock here. Giannis is going to have to attack him. Goes right through him to the baseline. And he's going to be fouled by Ojale on the help defense. Ojale kicked out the right leg and caught him.
Thankfully, nobody in serious foul trouble. The only guys with even 3 are Marcus Morris and Eric Bledsoe. So, I mean, it's been a low foul game. That's, I think, part of why we've enjoyed it so much.
Giannis to the line, of course, number 15 pick in 2013. The Mavs.
Right after the Celtics pick Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was actually.
Or was Olynyk 13?
Well, he was 13, but they made a trade to get to 13 and get him. I want to say that was the Mavericks pick initially.
Yeah, did they go? They went from like 16 to 13 and then didn't take Giannis. That seems right.
Yeah.
God, Giannis on those Mavs teams would have been awesome.
Boy, he really takes a long time. He's like the new Karl Malone with this.
But it goes in.
Tie game once more. Bledsoe remains on the bench for Hill after his rough start. This is Kyrie on Mirotic. I like this advantage matchup. Ilyasova always looking to help. Kyrie into the lane. 3-pointer from the corner from Ojale goes down. That's a key shot from him.
I just talked about how Kyrie wasn't driving to pass, and then he just did it.
Yeah, well, you come off the strong side corner like that, you make it easy. Here's Ojale, and he's going to get called for a rightful blocking foul. He was not happy with it, but yeah, he is moving underneath him. Yeah, that's a clear foul.
Yeah, absolutely. Body and then arms like that. That's a foul.
I like it when Giannis is already moving when he catches the pass like that, as opposed to just attacking off the dribble. How many times does he dribble it? Like 10? He's getting into rhythm.
If they continue a camera angle, I'll count it this time.
So Tice is in now, and maybe the reason that Baines is out is that that ankle is not feeling well enough for him. Cause,
entirely possible.
I mean, there's no circumstance I can think of when you'd rather have Tice instead of Baines on the floor. And he's a big loss.
In just the part we saw, there were 7 dribbles. It's a lot.
Yeah, at least, like, if you're going to dribble that many times, how about you, like, at least make your free throws a little better than that? If you're going to subject us to this. There's a nice screen by Tice on the help guy, and that lets Irving get to the rim, and he'll go to the foul line.
And so Boston, I mean, they are working their way back into this reducing the free throw disparity. But remember that they've only taken 9 before these, and 3 of those came on that stupid Bledsoe foul to end the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that is just, like, it's really a shame for me that Bledsoe, after spending all this time, like, being so obsessed with Boston and how he failed last year, is just having these games where he's making just the same kind of totally dumb mistakes he was making last year. Boston spreading it out. Kyrie pressuring on George Hill. Now they get the screen. Get it back to Giannis. He's got Kyrie on him. Now he's going to get into the post. Tatum tries to bump him out and does so. But he's still got the size advantage. Giannis just overpowers Tatum, and he's going to go to the foul line again. I mean, it's just the amount of space that he can cover and his strength. I mean, there's no way to stay in front of him. He's always going to get the shoulder past you and just knock you backwards and force you to foul. I mean, this is a clear foul on Tatum. Gets him on the arm.
And from Boston's perspective, yeah, Giannis is getting to the line all the time. Boston still is outscoring Milwaukee in this quarter, and Boston doesn't have any guys in serious foul trouble. Ojale now has 3 as well, but that's not a huge deal. Guy's not closing a game, especially he's not even at 4 fouls yet. Not a problem.
Jason Tatum, by the way, 7 of 7 on 2-pointers in this game.
And 0 for 3 on threes.
Yep. Couple of more free throws from outside. And these are all good calls, by the way. Like, there is...
Yeah.
The crowd apparently is upset, but this is... they can't stop him. They're following him. Like, Horford is the only guy. He's out of the game right now. Kyrie looking to get it back. Beautiful pass to Tice, and that time Giannis took it away. Now he's going to push it into Ojale. Swings it to Ilyasova. His 3-pointer is good. And Milwaukee with a 1-point lead. What a sequence for Giannis. Kyrie forced to his left. Hayward stepping back. Good close from Middleton. Ilyasova with the help. They close down Tatum. His 3-pointer over Connaughton is off. Still hasn't made a 3. Kyrie trying to pressure Giannis. Gets by him. Tice with the... Oh, did they call that as a charge? Call. Oh, what a bullshit call. He barely even makes contact with him. The only contact is Tice with his left forearm. Like, you can't see it well from that angle.
Tice is moving. He's moving laterally and he's moving forward.
No, that's just like, oh, well, we're calling a lot of fouls for this guy. We better keep it even. It's like, no, don't keep it even. They're fouling him. That is terrible. He's not even close to in front of him. He wouldn't even make contact if he doesn't chicken wing that forearm out. Here's Tatum on the drive. He's got Ojale. Can he make another corner 3? Yep. Nice play again. Stevens has gotten good looks out of these ATOs with the Iverson cut to Tatum and then running some stuff off of that. Here's Hill off a screen. Closed down by Irving. Now Middleton will try on Tatum. Tatum with the hand right in his face. Connaughton gets behind the line, and Ilyasova overpowering Tice for the rebound. Will stay here. Connaughton, yeah, go ahead.
I think sometimes on those, especially when the closeout's coming, guys might focus a little too much on getting behind the line instead of just taking the open shot. Because him taking that extra beat got the close there. Normally, I'm big on 3s over 2s.
Wow, Lopez set a massive illegal screen to get Middleton open.
Oh, yeah, he shoved him and moved.
Bucks are back. Tatum going to try to go one-on-one against Hill. Puts him in the jab step. Tries to go to the fadeaway. That's just an awful shot. Just a terrible shot. Like, you got the size advantage on the guy. Overpower him. Why is he going to go fade away? Here's Middleton going at Ojale, and yet another foul on Ojale. He had the hands forward, and Kyrie Irving is saying, put your hands up. Don't put your hands forward, and you won't get called for a foul, and he's absolutely right.
And that's Ojoy's fourth, but as I said when he had 3,
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Of little consequence.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that Milwaukee is going to shoot some more free throws here.
Yeah, Milwaukee, before these, 14 of 18 from the line. Sorry, they were actually 12 of 6. These are the first free throws taken by a non-Giannis Buck.
Yeah, Giannis had taken 16 free
16.
throws in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horford is back to match up with Lopez. We'll see if they try and get a little pick and pop going here for Horford. So this is actually Horford and Tice together, interestingly enough.
I think that's a pretty... I don't think Tice is on the floor anymore.
Oh, he replaced Horford?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Tice sat down. My bad. Here's Irving. Foul on Hill, no call there on the drive. They kick it out to Morris. Ilyasova with the hard close, and they're going to get Morris
for a
with a
hook?
hook. Let's see. It's always the third quarter, right, Danny?
But he...
That's a good call.
It's a good call, and especially when that elbow goes high, it creates opportunities for guys to sell it and everything else. So yeah, I mean, I would like to see that called frequently, so I can't complain when when a dicey one gets called. I mean, basically anything that can take away like a little bit of an advantage for the offense right now.
Here's Hill with the nice drive. He blew past Tatum, and Tatum just really bad fundamentals on that pick and roll defense.
And I like that screen by Middleton as well.
Yeah, it was very close to an illegal screen. In fact, it probably was. But Hill started just a little earlier than they were expecting, and Tatum was a little out of position, I think, because they set a screen for Middleton to come across the lane before he went and set that pick and roll. And a lot of times you'll see that as an option. First, they'll set a screen for a guy to try to get to the post. If that's not there, then he'll just run and set the screen for the guy on the wing for a wing pick and roll. Do you include turnovers in your possession count? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's going to make more this summer, Brogdon or Rozier? I think Brogdon deserves more. I don't know who's going to make more. I mean, Rozier, it seemed like Rozier had a lot more buzz before this season.
Yeah, I mean, Brogdon played point guard, but I think he's really a shooting guard for most teams.
Which actually kind of helps him because of the scarcity there.
Do you want anything?
No, I'm good, thank you. What did you think of Kokoshkov as a head coach? I liked some of what he did offensively in the late. Basically, once he adapted to understanding that their traditional point guards all sucked, that they had to go with some different things, and I thought the offense looked a lot better once they started giving it to Devin Booker more. I thought Booker showed some real growth on the offensive end. I don't know if that is a coaching thing, a Devin Booker thing, or both. Defensively, they sucked, but my belief is that a large portion of why they sucked was personnel. You know, there aren't many plus defenders on that team, and the ones they had are really, like, I think Mikal Bridges can get there, but Mikal Bridges was a rookie who, you know, had just been playing at Villanova, so it's not that big it's such a gigantic jump. Ayton, extremely limited, and I thought that going to more of a switching system made sense considering where Ayton's game was. So I thought he was fine. I didn't see, oh, this is a genius coach at work or anything like that, but I thought he deserved more time, assuming that there wasn't something larger in play. What chat are we reading to look at questions? All of them. We look at YouTube, we look at Twitch, we look at Periscope. Could Sam Presti hoodwink James Jones into a TJ Warren and Schroeder swap? I doubt it. TJ Warren, forwards have more value. It'd be interesting to see how much of what TJ Warren did offensively this year is replicable in OKC with the different approach that they have. But, Schroeder's just not that good. He's a backup guard who was so bad at being the sole ball handler that they had to stagger Paul George and Russell Westbrook. Thank you for reminding me that I was actually going to write a piece on, Schroeder's season because I'm still bitter about it. About all the shit that we got, and it's like, oh yeah, you realize that by and large we were right, but I haven't done that yet. So what would Milwaukee need to give Hill to bring him back? The big problem there is that because Hill has this light partial guarantee and huge guarantee, they would have to cut him, have him clear waivers. That part's not a problem. But then they would have to pay him using an exception because presumably they're not going to be a cap space team. And I don't think you use part of the mid-level, especially if you're going to have to use that on Brook Lopez.
Yeah. Here's Kyrie. Gets a nice screen from Hayward and hits. And Middleton did not do a good enough job switching out there. Nice action there in the corner for a Kyrie 3 to put Boston up 1 again. Boston is getting great looks on their ATOs right now. And there's Kyrie with a foul on Ilyasova. That's going to be more free throws for the Bucks.
And there have been some nice deflections by Jason Tatum in this game, kind of veering off a little bit. Hasn't produced much fruit other than, and it was different, the pick on Mirotic. But I've liked little bits of what he's done defensively in this. I think his defense is a little bit overrated.
Yeah, because he's just not physical enough. Like
yeah.
he just, I mean, you would hope that he could at least like not just get completely overpowered by someone like Giannis when he had to guard LeBron last year. I mean, all right, those are really difficult guys to guard, but the hope was that he could at least be, not just get totally steamrolled every time.
He's more of a support defender than a lead defender, and there's value in that, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, like it's him switched on to most wing scorers in a one-on-one situation. I think of that as an advantage matchup for the offense. Morris now to Horford. Hayward into the lane, goes to the floater. He had the alley-oop.
I love that Horford didn't know if that was a pass or a shot.
Yeah, I mean, well, he should have thrown it to Horford. Instead, it's Middleton's pull-up 3. Chris Middleton continues to shoot the lights out against the Boston Celtics.
And this, right now, the Bucks are only being outscored by 1 point when Giannis is sitting.
Hayward crosses over. Here's the pick and pop. Good veer back by Middleton. Horford to his right. Hayward's three-pointer is off. Now the Bucks look to swing it to Ilyasova. Hill off that screen. Three-pointer. Oh, yeah. And that's, I mean, the Bucks run that in their secondary break all the time. Just the big man at the top, pass away, screen away to the guard. And here's Hill trying to draw the charge, and they're going to call a foul on George Hill here. If he doesn't bring
out that right hand, I don't know if he touched him.
Well, he swipes down with the right hand. If he doesn't do that, it's probably a no call. Giannis is back with the 3 fouls. Bledsoe back as well. Hill and Bledsoe in the backcourt. Lopez, who I think has played very well defensively tonight, will sit. 2-guard alignment for the Celtics as well with Rozier and Irving. They're trying to get Irving open down low. No help was available. He's got the size advantage on Hill. Good double from Giannis. Irving goes to the tough fadeaway. Barely hits the rim. Ilyasova looking to push. Hill blows by Rozier into the lane. Can't get it, and he's going to get fouled. He got hit in the head by Horford.
And this could push the lead to 9.
Yeah, this has been a rough stretch for Boston. And I think really, to me, their biggest problem has been transition. Like that's a play where Irving, it's an ISO, is another missed free throw for Milwaukee. Irving is in an ISO, and too many guys go to the offensive glass, and then they give up that fast break.
You showed Jokic. I still don't have a read on that series.
No, after tonight, we might.
Yeah.
Well, if Denver wins, we'll have a read on the series. If Portland wins, maybe not. Horford looks to hand off to Irving. Hill does a nice job getting through the screen. Forces him left. Underneath to Horford. They swing it around. Good rotations from the Bucks. Irving tries for the rebound. Can't get it.
And now he's behind the play.
Giannis looking to push. He's got a wide open corner 3 from Hill. A great spot up shooter. And the Bucks lead by 11.
And Kyrie is not a go guy. Like he's not a good enough offensive rebounder to be there. And then that kind of forced all the other guys to be on unusual reads. And I think that was a big part of why George Hill was open there.
Yeah, and game 3 third quarter, or game 2 third quarter, I thought Kyrie made a bunch of bad gambles as well. And there was an example of that. And I think, he's trying to make a play and trying to lead this team, but, that's just ill-advised. You're going up for a rebound against a guy 10 inches taller than you. Hayward looks like he's sleepwalking through this game. Well, I think the biggest problem is he still is not the finisher that he used to be. And he's getting into the lane and just not really comfortable trying to score over the lengths that the Bucks have. And that's not a unique problem to him by any means. And the mid-range game, the floater game, hasn't really been able to get that going. So he's been a very low-usage player throughout the year, and certainly they're relying on him. But after the first round, I was like, okay, he's been really efficient, but he's just sort of taking advantage of some opportunities. If you want him to be a main engine of the offense, I'm not sure that that's going to happen.
Would an Andre Drummond to the Lakers trade make sense? Not to me, because you would. I think that he would just put a guy in a fly in the ointment for them a little bit offensively, and then I think he's overrated defensively personally. And he makes a shit ton of money.
Here's Irving, backdoor. Ilyasova picks him up and fouls him. And then again, once again, Eric Bledsoe, too aggressive, got beat. It was great recognition from Irving to go backdoor with Bledsoe basically trying to take away that dribble handoff. But if you're going to play it that way, your big has to be on the same page. And Ilyasova, for once, actually wasn't too attuned to a help situation.
Quick one. Is there a way to pause the stream if you guys are ahead of my feed? And the answer is yes. If you use YouTube, and the link has been tweeted out by Nate's account, and I've retweeted it, that has a functioning pause button. That's the easiest way to do it. There are tricks with iOS and other things, but YouTube is your best option.
Yeah, Nate Duncan NBA is the YouTube name. If you want to Google it, you can't find that link. All right, we're back here. Irving has been good tonight. Here's Hill. Blows past him for the dunk. So much for being good. Irving just couldn't even keep him in front. And Horford and Irving were completely on different pages as far as which way they're going to send the ball handler. But Hill with a great job taking advantage. They're so worried about the switch and getting Giannis. Hill just goes right through three guys for the dunk. When's the last time he had one of those in the half court?
Well, and Terry Rozier did a little soft stunt there. I think he could have gone harder there. You forced that pass.
Well, there's no
maybe
way
he thought there was going to be somebody behind him.
And that's just a straight up blow by. That's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, that's tough. You expect maybe George Hill is going to pass it. He's been awesome tonight.
I mean, they might be taking him out because if this game is close late, they're going to want him to close.
One would think, especially with Bledsoe sitting on 2 of 11 right now. Hill is plus 16. He's 7 of 8 from the field and 17 points.
And, Feldman and I talked about this back in the day on Real GM Radio. There was part of the reason why Bledsoe was smart for him to take that extension was, what if he had a bad playoffs?
Yeah. Here's Mirotic, backdoor. Ilyasova blows the layup. That was pathetic. And now he's going to foul, too.
And they're in the bonus.
What a terrible, terrible turn of events. That's wide open layup, completely uncontested. I don't know if he thought about dunking it. Well, Ersan should probably never think about dunking it.
Could Mirotic have just taken that shot himself?
Well, he's got the guy flying in. He gave him a wide open layup. What else do you want?
That's true.
Fortunately for the Bucks, it's Jaylen Brown at the line. He does hit the first. Middleton and Hill are on the bench. We haven't seen Snell yet in this half.
We might not see Snell in this half.
That's correct. Connaughton has been fantastic tonight. Plus 10, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 6 from downtown.
And Jaylen Brown, 3 of 4 from the line this game.
Yeah, 8-point game. We'll see if Boston can get a little closer before the end. They're trying to get Giannis in the straight post up here on Horford. Goes into the lane. Oh, wow, he traveled his ass off. That was that was not even close to legal.
So Boston, they have to push quickly to get a 2-for-1 here, but I do think they have a window if they do it, and I like Bledsoe pressuring here, but just give it to Rose, or just do that.
Here's Irving looking to attack Bledsoe.
Not fast enough. Oh, there he goes.
Oh man, Bledsoe and Lopez miscommunicated, and they're lucky that they didn't hit the three on him. Giannis going to direct traffic with a 3-second differential to work with. Mirotic with the screen. They pre-switch it. Double team. Lopez, he's got Connaughton in the corner, missed him. Instead, he's into the lane, tries to get Bledsoe, and Bledsoe is tripped by Brown. Not a good foul.
Yeah, with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, there wasn't much Bledsoe was going to do there. He was going to shoot like a rushed fadeaway.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really a terrible play by Brown. He's just actually
trying to get back.
It looked like Bledsoe might have slipped before he even contacted Brown.
No, I think he tripped on his foot.
Yeah, it wasn't a great angle. So Bledsoe missing the free throw. It's starting to be a little bit of an issue here for Milwaukee.
18 of 24.
I guess that's not that bad. That's still over 75%.
Yeah, it's 6 misses, but it's 6 misses on a bunch of attempts.
Yeah, so this to me is overly conservative. Giannis has 3 fouls. He's a rangy defender with 5 seconds left. Why take him out here? If they score, you're going to... I think the risk of them scoring is higher as 2 missed free throws from Bledsoe. Brown is just holding it for some reason and doesn't even get a shot off. Why did he just stop there? Was he thinking they were going to call timeout or something?
Holds it.
Fullback passes to center. All right.
How do you feel about only 2 minutes for Baines? I think that's an indicator that he's just not right physically, and if he's not right physically, he should not be on the floor in this series, or at least like for right now. I mean, Tice getting a few minutes, that's a pretty clear sign. So if he was right, he'd play more.
Yeah, and I thought the Bucks missed a little bit of an opportunity there to really put this one away at the end of that quarter when Giannis came back in. I mean, this is crazy, Giannis' stats. 12 of 16 at the foul line, 8 assists. He's only taken 7 field goal attempts because they just have fouled him so much. If we ranked power forwards and centers together, who would be higher, Draymond Green or Al Horford? I would probably go with Draymond Green. I think he's just a little bit, actually a lot better defensively and does enough on offense. But it depends what kind of team you have.
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly circumstances where Horford would be the more valuable player. But especially if you have enough offensive talent where that margin doesn't matter as much, Draymond is so valuable defensively. I think that makes a huge difference. And when you're talking about bigs, the offense-defense value paradigm shifts. You know, if at any other position, you'd rather have the superior offensive player if it's, kind of close, but not in this case.
So Boston, 6 of 12 at the rim, bad percentage, very low number of attempts, of course, but they still have been hitting those twos away from the rim at 11 out of 20. And then the three-pointer, they've gotten up 13 corner threes in this game, and they've made 8 of them, but way off above the break. So that's different than what Milwaukee usually does. They try to take away the corner three and let you shoot above the break. They haven't really succeeded at that in this game.
So Boston is 7-11 from mid-range. Milwaukee is 0 for 2. Bucks 16 of 22 in the restricted area, and you can add in that a large portion of their 25 free throw attempts were generated by shots in the would have been shots in the restricted area.
Yeah.
3 of 8 from floater range, then a very solid 13 of 29 from 3. They've been better in the corners, 4 of 6 in the corners, and then 9 of 23 above the break. 9 of 23 is still quite good.
Yeah, Mirotic, Hill, Connaughton, all shooting the 3-ball extremely well. Individually, Irving, 25 points. He's done it on 22 shooting possessions. And only 4 assists for him, though. The pick and pop game has not been there like it was in game 1.
And in terms of scoring, which is obviously not all that there is, George Hill is almost doubling up Boston's bench by himself. George Hill has 17. Boston's bench has a combined 9. 6 for Ojale on those 2 corner threes and a whopping 3 points for Gordon Hayward. I think he had an above the break 3.
What would you set the over-under for Jaren Jackson Jr., all defensive first teams in his career? I would say 0.5, especially at center. It's just so hard to break in there. If he plays power forward, it actually might be more likely that he would make one.
Because he could get some help plays and maybe get a little bit. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. And remember, there's only one spot for centers, and there are a lot of good ones in the league, and there will be for a long time. I love Jaren, though.
Here's Hayward. Gets Horford off the screen. Lopez gets through the Rozier screen nicely, though. They swing it. Horford steps back. That's going to be a long 2, and it's no good. Giannis looking to push it. They're going to try and load to him again. Tatum has him. Now Horford, they mess up the matchups, and they're lucky that Mirotic missed that open 3. Tatum just went and guarded Giannis for some reason instead of Horford. Now Horford looking to post up on Mirotic. Double comes from Bledsoe. Great job. Picks up his dribble and then gets back to his man. Horford again, and he loses it.
Giannis just left Gordon Hayward there for the strip.
Now Giannis elbowed Rozier in the face, missed the layup. No call was made. Brown with the in-and-out dribble on Bledsoe, and this is going to go the other way. And I thought that was a pretty decent call. We'll watch it again.
I didn't get a clean look at it.
But Bledsoe really had him locked up. Oof. I mean, that's tough because his feet really are not there, but his torso kind of is. I mean, that's one I think should probably be a no call. It's better than that one on Giannis that was called, though. Bledsoe looking to get Middleton in the post on Rozier. They're going to scram him out of there probably if they can ever get it to him. And now they're going to call a foul on Brown as Bud was barking for a foul call.
And that's Jaylen Brown's 4th.
Yeah. Brown saying that Bledsoe was holding his jersey. We'll see it here. Didn't really...
Yeah, it was a little bit of a forearm there, but it didn't seem like there was a hold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one that should have probably just been a no call.
Yeah, there wasn't... I don't think Bledsoe was severely inconvenienced by it.
That's a great standard for a foul. Interesting, we have seen no Sterling Brown tonight. I don't know whether it's the back spasms or just that he wasn't playing that well. Giannis sizes up Morris, swings it to Lopez, gets it back, 5 on the clock. Giannis going to have to pull up in the lane, and Morris fouls him and 1. Once again, I mean, really, to me, when they have these smaller guys on him, you just got to force him one way. And to me, that's force him to the side where you have 2 helpers. Because if you force him towards Tatum's side, then it's going to be a wide open corner 3. So force him to the side where the Bucks have more players. And just say, hey, we're not going to let you spin back. I'm going to keep a body on you, but I'm not going to let you spin back or Euro step. And then just have another guy waiting there. It's the only way to deal with it. Another missed free throw for Giannis. Rozier takes the 3. Miscommunication there to let him get that, but he'll take it anyway and miss it. Here's Middleton with the push-off, and finally they call one of those. That's an obvious one.
Yeah, cleared a bunch of space with it.
Yeah, he extends his arm at the elbow. I mean, you can get away with murder as long as you don't extend your arm, so probably not a good idea to extend your arm. Rozier, they're trying to get Irving involved here. Bledsoe trying to deny him. Rozier off the screen. Middleton goes under nicely. 10 on the clock for Horford. Kyrie in the post. Looks like they're going to send the double here. Kyrie forced towards the baseline. Doubled up nicely.
Stepped out of bounds.
And he stepped out. Now, what are they going to call here?
What?
They call a push? That was weird.
I have no idea what they called it.
What a bailout if they called that. Then they just throw it up. Giannis driving through 2 guys, blocked by Tatum, but it's going to be another foul call.
And the Celtics are losing it like they're getting mad at the accumulation of fouls. Overwhelmingly, to me, these have been good calls. Yeah, you can be mad that you can't stop the dude, but, I mean, their ire should not be at the refs other than that they are, easier to yell at than yourself.
Yeah, so by the way, I think they just ruled that the Bucks knocked the ball out of bounds there to get to 0.3 on the shot clock.
Yeah, because it didn't reset or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody
so
got
Tatum got the technical. But, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, these are fouls.
Yeah,
like, Giannis
absolutely.
Antetokounmpo is going to the basket like a madman, and they don't have the personnel to stop him. They're not getting enough help because the Bucks are hitting threes. Like, they're fouling him.
And I'm sure there will be people who point to a free throw disparity and say it was unfair. No, sometimes a free throw disparity is just because there should be a disparate amount of free throws.
Yeah, Jared noting that he was Jared Weiss was noting that Kyrie was upset after getting trapped against the baseline again. But really, I thought it was Kyrie's fault for dribbling into trouble. Tatum went back door, and his man Giannis just stayed there. I don't know what Tatum was supposed to do differently. Man, Giannis is just bricking these free throws right now. You always remember the missed ones more than the makes, though.
That's really true for me with Kevin Durant. I remember like every single one of his missed free throws.
Tatum hands off to Morris in the corner, and that's twice they've gotten just a little bit of those handoffs where the man gets rubbed underneath. Milwaukee doesn't switch it quickly enough, and they're going to get a timeout here, maybe to talk about that action because they've given up a couple of threes off of those. And I don't know. I think that one was a little more improvised.
We are not doing Denver-Portland today. We'll be back for Warriors-Rockets tomorrow.
Yeah. Are you going to stick around here and watch that, or are you just going to go home?
Kind of depends on what you're thinking.
I mean, I was planning on watching it. Maybe if it's close, we could turn it on at the end.
Okay.
If you're going to stay.
We'll see.
But if you want to go, then we don't.
We'll figure that out.
No, let's do it live right now on the air.
That sounds like fun.
Let's see here.
Close with Hill, yes. If you need to close with, if it's close enough, then yes, absolutely. Yeah, I want to look back. This is not screw it. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to look at the Jason Tatum's his shot proportions compared to last year. Success is a separate thing, and I want to do more on that later on. But I just want to look just at proportions this year versus last year. Okay.
What platform is best to answer? Oh, sorry, am I interrupting your?
No, go ahead.
What platform is best to ask questions on? YouTube, we probably get the most questions on, so we look at it more. But
I'm on all of them.
So there are fewer questions on the other ones. I don't look at them as often, but I still do look at them. So if you do leave one on the other one, it's more likely to be seen and answered. But also, we don't look at it as often. So it's kind of 6 and 1/2 dozen the other.
Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so Tatum. The biggest drop off is actually at the rim, which is not a good sign. 32% to 26%. A portion of that went into floater range, which you don't really want to see. That can be like a sign of aggressiveness. But overall, from 2 outside of 10 feet, stayed about the same. It's about high 20s, low 30s% of his shots. Took a little bit more from 3. And the success rate on those did drop. But the proportion didn't change too much. That's interesting. I would not have expected that, especially when you consider what his rep is. Like, Jason Tatum actually took fewer from 16 feet to the three-point line this year than he did last year.
Any noticeable adjustments by Bud this game? Well, Sterling Brown hasn't played at all. They played Snell a little bit. I think it's just been even more Giannis trying to get the matchup in the half court. We've seen a lot of that. Other than that,
giving George Hill more run when he's been playing well helped by Bledsoe's foul trouble.
Yeah,
I don't know if I call that an adjustment.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well.
Yeah, to me, an adjustment is more something that you plan for and execute rather than just a situation that presents itself during the game. Now, if you continue it moving forward, then it becomes an adjustment. Pat Connaughton making 3 of his 6 threes, that's an adjustment.
Let's see. Who do you have winning game 3 tomorrow? Bucks, or I'm sorry, Warriors, Rockets.
I haven't really thought about it too much. I think I'm gonna go Warriors.
Bledsoe tried to throw just a
who the hell was that
alley-oop to Giannis, and the help defender was right there. The pass was to the opposite corner. He didn't see it. Now Bledsoe recovers and blocks Irving. Great hustle to make up for yet another terrible turnover by Bledsoe. Middleton drives right through Tatum, out to Giannis, gets Horford in the air with the fake, and he's just going to go in and dunk it. And
You don't need to be that scared of his three.
You don't. And, I mean, that's just like to jump at the pump fake. I mean, but we're seeing now, Danny, I think they're overreacting to the threat. But if and when that threat is really there, just how unstoppable he's going to be. Horford has had no answers against him because he's had to guard him that far out on the floor. Rozier gets to the mid-range too, not even close. Bledsoe goes at Tatum. Nice patience there from Bledsoe. And there's another example, Danny, of just the complete lack of physicality defensively by Tatum. And this one could be getting away from Boston. 13-point Buck lead.
Yeah, I mean, Tatum just gave up so much position, didn't put a body in him, and Tatum had the advantage. He was in the place Bledsoe wanted to go and just gave it to him.
Which recently retired player do you miss the most? The commenter mentioned Yao.
Manu. I loved watching Manu.
I mean, by the end, though, he wasn't, like, that awesome.
Well, yeah, but who is by the end?
Well, okay, but I guess, like, yeah, that's true. I mean, missing him in his prime.
I enjoyed Yao. He was a little bit before I got super into NBA basketball, but I enjoyed watching him.
Yeah, I really would be interested to see like how effective. You know, he's kind of like a Boban-esque defensive player, but probably even better at just being tall around the rim. A little better mobility probably, but his post-ups were unstoppable. And his touch. He could just, catch the ball at 15 feet and just turn and shoot and score over pretty much anyone. Like great hooks with both hands. So, yeah, I mean, it's really too bad that his career was as truncated as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, who else here would fall into that category? I mean, Wade, I guess, recently retired, right? That's
Prime Wade was unbelievable.
Yeah, like he really had too outsized of an offensive role for like the last, basically after LeBron left, it was like they were kind of force feeding him. He wasn't that efficient. I felt like he was kind of overrated. So I'm not going to miss that aspect of it. But, the 2005 to 2011 Wade, definitely someone that I wish we'd see more of. Do you see Carmelo finding a team next year? Or is that it? No, I think that's it.
I think it's over.
I mean, unless
somebody mentioned Chris Bosh. Yeah. Chris Bosh.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, if Haberstroh had this when he wrote a piece on Bosh right around when he was getting his jersey retired, and talked about how and he talked with Chris Bosh about this, that Bosh could still be in the league right now were it not for his health stuff. Like he could have been this era's Chris Bosh as opposed to it being all these other guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Nash. Yeah, it's another one. I love watching Nash play. I love Nash at Santa Clara. Like I was there because I watched college then, and I was just loved him. I love Jason Kidd too, of course.
Do you think the Bucks should continue to have Giannis drive into fouls as the free throw percentage warrant that? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's actually
getting fouled on all of the and I mean not only is he getting even as a not great free throw shooter, the point per possession is still very good, but all of the other ancillary benefits in terms of getting guys in foul trouble, getting their teammates to get in the bonus. All those sorts of things.
Yeah, you could set up threes as well. And I mean, if he just got fouled on every possession, I mean, you would have a 140 offensive rating, which would be the best in NBA history by like more than 20 points. Solid old Bucks logo here.
I like that they had Kareem at I think that was a late regular season Bucks game. Like he hasn't embraced his Bucks heritage as much.
Yeah, well, you mean because he asked?
Because he wanted to be gone.
Yeah. So Lopez is going to be out now. I think they got to look at what the lineup is and decided to go a little bit smaller. We'll see. So it's Ojale. Are they going with just Ojale at center now? Yeah, that's what they're doing. No Horford. Hayward. Nice job by Middleton pressuring him out of that pick and roll. Now Irving sets the screen. Hayward into the lane. Mirotic steps up. Good close from Giannis on Morris. Morris with a nice move on the baseline, but he stepped out.
I think they miss a fair number of step outs still just because you're watching the action. You understand it. And a fourth ref probably wouldn't help that.
I don't remember them ever missing those. That's me personally.
I see.
Other than the KD one in that Rockets game, which was completely insane. All right, here's Bledsoe. They're trying to get Giannis the ball. Instead, the help shows Connaughton with the 3, and it's 16.
We're close to done here.
Great read by Bledsoe with Hayward trying to come over and help Irving. That's all Giannis's gravity, and Connaughton a couple feet behind the line. They can't close to him. Here's Irving trying to get it back, going to his right. Usually effective there, but that's a difficult shot.
And somehow Giannis was able to fly over Pat Connaughton for that rebound.
And the Celtics offense has not gotten it going here in the second half at all. Bledsoe screening for Giannis, crossover. Not a threat to shoot it from the elbow. Here's Bledsoe. Bledsoe just shoots it. And I think actually Giannis told him to just go ahead and shoot it because he had inside rebounding position, but it's such a bad miss. Here's Hayward. Oh, he's completely destroyed by Giannis, but a foul down low on Bledsoe.
They called the body contact, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Boston, they need to... I'm a little bit concerned that even if this game is competitive, that they might not get to 106. I think they will, but not by much. Like, they're not scoring.
Yeah, I mean, now the Bucks do give up threes. They can
That's true.
Get hot on threes, get a lot of those up.
Maybe get to the free throw line a little bit more, but probably not that much.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a tremendously efficient performance for Milwaukee. 120 offensive rating against a very good defensive team, and Boston right around a point per possession right now. Couple of free throws, get it back to 14.
So, Ben, if you want to file this away, I'm interested in when Boston gets to 106 points. This is an old game we used to play at UCLA of when would we have a point total that the other team would never reach.
Here's Hill into the lane. Can't get the finish on Hayward. Good D by him. Irving attacking Middleton. Fakes Giannis into the air, and then he's fouled by Connaughton. Connaughton knew that he had him there, but was just a little over-aggressive. And Middleton, he loves to do these no-chance reaches in full-court situations. It'd be nice if he tried to just move his feet a little bit instead.
Alas. Kyrie makes the free throw. He's now up to 9 of 10 from the line. That's a lot of attempts for him. Granted, some of that was helped by getting fouled on that three-pointer, but I think he's done a little bit better there. But 7 of 19 from the field.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown glowering on the bench.
Yeah, with the
Is
5
that proper
fouls.
use of glowering?
That was not a good call on that play on the sideline that gave him his 5th. Ojale trying to get physical with Giannis in the post. See where the help's going to come from here. Giannis goes to the hook. Not there. Good defense. They'll take that shot if you're the Celtics. Irving forced to his left into Giannis. Outside, Ojale faking Connaughton in the air. Giannis takes the charge. Easy call there. And, I mean, man, is there any player who is more susceptible to pump fakes at the three-point line than Connaughton? He just goes flying on these things. But he made the right decision. Now, Giannis, that actually should be a blocking foul. Because his heel is over the charge circle. And players used to do that to technically not be in the charge circle, but they changed the rule on that. So the refs missed that one. So, hey, you're right. They do miss stuff with the lines.
There we go.
Here's Middleton hounded by Hayward. Oh, and he hits the 3 on him anyway.
The Bucks have been getting worse shots for a couple minutes now, but you only need to make a couple of them when you're up as much as they are.
Yeah, here's Irving. Falls down against Hill. Bucks have a 4-on-2. Middleton gets it to Hill. Pumps Morris in the air and scores. 17-point game with 6 minutes left. And Irving just has not had it here in the second half. Hill looking to pressure Irving. Good screen. Hayward's three-pointer is there.
And we've seen some better offense from Boston in the last couple minutes and some better defense, too. I mean, I think they could theoretically cut this margin down, but cutting it down another 14?
Yeah, I mean, it seems unlikely that they're just going to shut the Bucks down enough. I mean, coming back on this Bucks team is pretty tough because they're just so good offensively. Now, maybe you can say we're just going to give them a bunch of threes and hope that they miss them.
Well, and like I gave Sam Esfandiari a bunch of shit on Twitter a couple days ago because he made a comment about the Bucks. Like, if you shut down their transition game, doing all this stuff, it's like the Bucks had the third best half-court offense in the entire NBA this year. Now, a lot of that was Giannis based, but Giannis is still on their team last time I checked.
I don't think I've ever seen a ref miss a charge in the restricted area like that. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't
I've
recall
seen
it either.
a couple of times, but not very often.
I think the reason that happened was just it was such an obvious charge, and he was just there.
Yeah,
for
it's kind of
so
like you don't
long.
want to reward the guy anyway. There was more of a player control foul
Yeah.
rather than.
Now they have the option to make it a no call there.
Sure.
And maybe that's what should have been the case, but.
Somebody said, imagine Yao shooting threes like Marc Gasol. Yeah, I mean, you could imagine he could have gotten a set shot three in his arsenal.
I mean, I remember.
He did it every once in a while, didn't he?
I don't think that much. So I remember him talking about, or at his actual draft workout, they had this like staged workout where he just went against this like 7'2" stiff who played at like Oregon or something, and. Let's see here if they're going to go zone. And so he's shooting threes in his pre-draft workout. It's like 1-on-0 pre-draft workout. Yeah, looks like zone here. Hayward gets Connaughton almost falling out of bounds. Mirotic screening for Hill. They bring Giannis all the way to the baseline. There's a trap. Giannis gets out of it. Mirotic swings it. Connaughton gets his feet ready and can't hit it. Would have liked to see him actually get his feet set before he caught the ball that time. Here's Tatum. Again, can't get anything going one-on-one against Hill. Underneath Ojale, Giannis just covered so much ground. I mean, Giannis is at the free throw line when that pass is made, and Ojale had no chance to score against him. Pick and roll. Giannis blows past Irving, goes in for the dunk, and one again. Just a shove from Irving. We are done here. You want to call it?
No, we should keep going for another minute. But
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's over.
While the starters are in, I think we can earn something.
But I'm just saying it's over. Like there's Boston's chance of winning this game is no. And worth noting, I mean, we both said that we were trying to figure out where this game was going to go. 5:38 had it as a straight pickup. Milwaukee winning and going away.
Yeah, and this really, if Boston wins Game 3, you're not saying the series is over. Milwaukee winning Game 3 right now, even if Boston can get it to 2-2, they're still a massive favorite in the series. So it really, and the fact that it hasn't been particularly close, they have absolutely no answers for Giannis right now. I do think they need to reevaluate their strategy as far as, I mean, the fact that Giannis has 0 3-point attempts tonight, like, that's not good enough for Boston, and they've gotten beaten on some of these closeouts, or just they're pressuring up, and like Giannis blows by the guy.
We should try to get Jared Weiss to count the number of free throw dribbles for next game for Giannis.
Well, yeah, when you consider he's taking 20 free throws now. Here's Tatum. He's got Connaughton on his back into Lopez, and Lopez commits the foul. He's claiming he went straight up, but I think his arms were forward.
I don't think he went straight up there.
Yeah, not a good foul there, as that's a pretty difficult shot. Yeah, Lopez did get his body into him. Yeah, and so, I mean, Boston fans are going to be crowing about the free throw disparity. It's 21-30 for the Bucks, and I mean, Boston 21 free throws. That's actually a lot.
That's a lot for them
against this Bucks team that doesn't foul that much. And yet, there have been a couple of questionable calls.
Sure.
A couple of questionable calls that went the Bucks or went against the Bucks too, like that Tice charge. 15-point game. We've probably got about 10 possessions left in this one. Lopez sets the screen for Hill into the lane. Irving comes to help nicely. Giannis now, he'll take the three finally. Not there. If I'm him, I would just not take one.
Because they're scared of it.
They're under the impression that you can make it here. Why disabuse them of that notion? Here's Giannis with a foul out top on Tatum.
People are saying we have to do the game until Boston gets to 106. They're gonna get there. They're gonna get there pretty soon. I mean, this game's getting a little looser.
He's dribbling 9 times every free throw. Maybe he just watched Ferris Bueller when he was young. That's probably not true. So yeah, Giannis is going to get a little break here. You imagine he'll come back at the under 3 timeout. High pick and roll. Irving engaging Lopez. Irving tells Horford to roll. They try to get into the post to Horford. Double team, and there's going to be a foul on Hill shoving Horford in the back. So that's not good to get free throws there. in the bonus without them ever having to actually attack. Interesting. We've seen a lot less Ilyasova in the second half. Has he even played in the second half?
I thought he got a couple minutes, but I might just be.
Oh, yeah, he missed the layup.
Yeah.
Maybe they took him out after that. He's played 13 minutes in the game, and I like that better.
The layup and the Euro foul.
Yeah.
When they were in the bonus in the third quarter.
Horford with the free throw. Hill trying to explain to the ref that Horford was using his arm to pin him behind. Couple of free throws from Horford.
Those were Horford's first 2 free throws of this game.
Yeah, Celtics 22 of 24 from the foul line.
So they've actually made more free throws than the Bucks.
Yeah, that's a great point. Bledsoe cut off by Irving, now picked up by Brown. They want to get Middleton in the post. Double team looks like it's going to come from Horford. Middleton just goes to the easy right shoulder fadeaway. I mean, Chris Middleton, when you don't have the length to contest him, he's just going to shoot that so easily. Tatum attacking Lopez. Good help from Bledsoe. They force another turnover. Going to be a 2-on-1 here. Connaughton.
Not quite enough lift.
No, he didn't.
It wasn't a great pass from Milton, but it was good enough.
Lopez still hounding on the perimeter, and finally he just looks at the bench and is like, yeah, that was a dumb foul. He was feeling himself after he got a couple of tip-aways. He wanted to continue pressuring up, but probably better
caught him with the right arm.
Yeah, probably better to contain in that situation again.
No, having that little hustle moment that your teammates like is a much different thing when you're up 15 with 3 minutes to go than we're in a more important situation. But I don't think you would have done that otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucks have had some dumb fouls here, but they're scoring so well on the other end, it doesn't really matter. Giannis may just sit the rest of this game. Why not? You got the game 4 to basically end the series on Sunday. Here's Hill driving baseline. Bledsoe with the long 2. He didn't really spot up very well. Rebound Horford. No,
nice
they lost
tip.
it. And George Hill will lay it in to make it 15 again with 3 minutes remaining. Irving engages Lopez. He should try and get the 3 here on him. Good double by Bledsoe. Bledsoe recovers back. No advantage gain there. Horford with the pump fake and yet another foul. Oh, God, I can't watch Milwaukee do these fouls anymore. This is so bad.
We could just stop the broadcast.
But they're fouling so much, I'm worried they're going to find a way to blow it still. Seems unlikely. They're up. There's no way they got... it would have to be a Boston 3 every single possession here. It'll be back to 13 after this. We'll go at the next stoppage. How about that?
That's fine. It doesn't matter if we're gonna watch the beginning of the next game anyway. So, and they're not gonna start that game until this one's over. So, it's just us talking. I will mention Patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. Great way to support this. We will have a subscriber mailbag. Technically, our very late April mailbag will be out over the next few days, and then we do early releases, salary cap sheets, and then whatever else we can think of. It's fun.
Wow, they just throw it away again. Another ridiculous. Oh, Giannis with the block. Another ridiculous turnover from Bledsoe. And Giannis just sized up Kyrie that time. You don't see Kyrie get blocked like that very often. Brown swings it. Tatum, he'll take the corner 3. Not there. Good box out by Connaughton. That could have made it like slightly interesting. Man, Eric Bledsoe he's been pretty good defensively in this last stretch here. Middleton against Kyrie, gets the screen, goes for the deep 3, misses it. Giannis with a no-chance run for the rebound. Brown pushing past Bledsoe and scores an easy layup.
And Giannis, considering the small lineup that's out there, him going for that rebound.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. So they're going to try and trap here. I might actually foul Giannis when he has the ball. Connaughton with the early 3, rims out. Hill with the tip again. I mean, this is just an absolute clinic in how to blow a lead, but Milwaukee is just too good, I think. And then they committed yet another foul. I mean, if you just don't foul and they score every time, but they at least run down the clock a little bit, I mean, they're not going to lose, but I resent Milwaukee for the
as
way
a
they're
city
playing right now. No, I mean, just because like we couldn't have turned this off. Like they've been like right on the edge this whole time of like feeling like they're gonna blow it, and we have to stick around here. Yeah, 106 at 158.
That was pretty close. And if Milwaukee had actually played like competent, like keep away, keep like prevent stuff, it would have been right at the end of the game.
Who've been the best defenders in this year's playoffs? Draymond
Draymond.
would be up there. Horford.
Embiid's done a really nice job. I mean, he was destructive in the Nets series.
He's been up and down.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. But I think his ups have been notable.
Who else am I missing right now? I mean, Gobert was good the last 3 games against Houston, but he was not good in the first 2 games.
I mean, Toronto, it's been, when they've been good defensively, it's been a series of different guys. Like,
yeah.
I thought Siakam had a really nice first round.
Yeah, but I'd say Draymond so far.
Yeah, he's the defender of the playoffs. I have thought about doing, like, if I mean, the problem is it runs straight into stuff that we have so much interest in, doing like a playoff awards show.
Yeah. Because
I think that should exist, especially since they have the stupid award show after the playoffs anyway. They could just do more, like a playoff best defensive player of the playoffs, whole playoff MVP, all those sorts of things should be a part of this anyway. I mean, Finals MVP it is something, but I don't think it is like a good single playoff award. Like, if that's all we have to talk about the playoffs, I think it's stupid.
How would you game plan against Giannis differently than what Stevens has done? I think we'll have a whole section of that on the pod, actually. Ben, if you could make a note that we want to talk about that. Because what they're doing is not working. All right, Bucks probably need one more bucket here to feel absolutely perfect. They're going to like a 1-3-1 zone trap here. Giannis down the lane, Euro step, throws it away again. Tatum looking to push it against Mirotic. They're probably going to commit another foul here. No, they missed the layup, and yeah, they do shove Horford in the back. Interesting to see whether this is considered a shooting foul or not.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're in the bonus. Yeah, and the pass there is to Middleton. It's not back out to Mirotic.
And the pass was with 12 seconds left in the shot clock, right to a Celtic.
Yeah, I mean, like, just all you got to do is just
dribble.
Hold on to the ball for 24 seconds and then not foul within the first 5 seconds of the shot clock on the other end. This is just pathetic. And credit the Celtics for getting some steals here and being active and trapping, but, I mean, this is just miserable. Not a lot of people here to watch this. Boston now.
Boy, will they feel stupid when the Bucks throw the ball away 3 more times in the next 90 seconds.
They're back to that same 1-3-1 trap again. Giannis going to come up and set the screen. They'll swing it. Bledsoe, just the guy you want to avoid a turnover. And he goes way too early again, but he finally scores, and maybe that can put this away. What are they going to call here? Bledsoe committed a foul, getting back on Horford. Is that what happens? No, that's not what it is. What did they call?
I mean, they're showing.
So just like a clock issue? Oof. Man, that's a good job falling by Bledsoe to not kill himself on that play. Horford looks to hand off to Hayward. They switch out on that. See, this is all you have to do is just switch, run clock, make him take a jump shot like that. He misses, and now we're finally done here. Jesus. Bucks and Warriors, man, just do not know how to protect a 10-point lead at the end of the game. Yeah, that's good. You just dribble in one place for 15 seconds. That's all you need. And now there's going to be a foul.
And Chris Middleton sure knows how to do that.
Yeah. All right, let's cash it in here. We may be back. I'll tweet if we are, obviously, for the end of Portland and Denver.
You'll tweet?
Bye, everyone.